Today, I poured everything that I had in my heart in front of a beautiful girl, my childhood best friend. This is the story of what happened after I confessed to her and got rejected. Let's see what happened before and how the story started.
Her name is Michiru. We used to live close, so we hung out since we were kids. She's my childhood friend. But let us continue with what happened the day before. As the main character approached her from behind, he asked her if she was free later today, to which she replied she had plans with her friend but could take out some time for him tomorrow. She said if it was urgent, she could come by his house later, but he said it was all right. Kids were making fun of him, saying, "How is he close to that beautiful girl?" They were pretty right about it. He couldn't blame them for reacting like that. If they weren't childhood friends, he doubted Michiru would ever talk to him. She is extremely attractive, athletic, and intelligent. She's the literal definition of a school idol. More than anything, she is really kind. On the other hand, the main character is the weakest in the class, does not have any stamina, and makes up stories that no one pays attention to, except Michiru. She used to say he was super funny and would actually praise him for them. Returning to the present, they finalized their meeting for tomorrow, and she had to go with her friend. As she left, the main character thought to himself that he was only here thanks to her and decided that tomorrow, he would confess his love to her. Michiru thought he wasn't acting like himself. What was he thinking about? Was it something important? As the main character came into the center of the city, he saw a large billboard advertising the hit of the century, a massively popular web novel adapted into a movie, Digital Masters, the movie, Infinite Heaven Arena, now in theaters. From kids to young people and old people, everyone was talking about it. People were selling tickets for it. We get to know that it is known as Digimass. As our main character was getting out of the crowd, he bumped into someone, a gangster-like person who tried to attack him, but his girlfriend stopped him, saying he wasn't worth wasting time on and that they needed to go see the next episode of Digimass. Our main character escaped narrowly. Both of those couples were big fans of Digimass. Finally, the day came, and our main character, with all his courage, asked her out. The girl reacted differently than expected. She said with a rout, "Why would I ever do that?" Cold-blooded and cool, the main character was still not understanding what she was saying. She said she was busy anyway, as she was reading the novel, Digimax, or Digital Master. She said there was a new chapter and they could talk later. The main character said that he poured his soul into that confession, yet all she cared about was this novel. The main character tried to approach her, but she just ignored him and said she still had the episode of Digital Master anime to watch. The main character said she should give it more thought rather than outright rejecting him, but she said her heart belonged to the novel, Digital Monster, and he didn't even have a chance. The main character tried to explain, but she cut him off, saying, "Are you trying to say that the author of Digital Monster and you are the same person?" The main character said, "Hold on, is this some kind of joke?" She said she meant exactly what she said. "A joke, that is my life." The main character had been pushed beyond his limits. He had been defeated by an online novel. The main character said that he is the author of Digital Monster, to which the girl outright said he was lying. In desperation, the main character tried to explain that the name of the author, Kimimatsu, was just another way to read his name, but she said it was just a lucky coincidence and there was no way someone like him would ever be close to the author of Digital Monster. The main character even tried to show his original draft of the latest chapter. The girl looked at him and said it was just copy-pasted. The main character tried his best, but the girl had already made up her mind about him. In desperation, the main character held her hand, on which he got smacked. The dreams of the main character were now broken. We saw the girl with extreme anger and a cruel face, saying that she didn't know he could stoop so low as to trample over something she loved. She said, "Listen up, Kimimatsu-sama is 1,000 times more handsome and smarter than you." The main character had been heartbroken beyond expectation. As she left the class, she said not to even try to talk to her for a bit. The main character was now on the ground, crying, and said that he wasn't lying. He made the entire novel because he got encouraged by her and because of her words and encouragement. He used to pull all-nighters writing the novel and poured out his heart, but it looked like she never really took his kindness seriously. The main character was sobbing and crying, saying that it was all in his head and he wanted to die. In a fit of mixed emotions, he said that now that he didn't even have a reason to write, why should he continue writing anymore? Is there any reason left? The main character pulled out his phone and typed on his Twitter that he quit and was retiring from now on. As he posted this message, we saw hundreds of people seeing it in an instant and getting sad, worried, surprised, and feeling every emotion there is. We saw them crying, not believing it, and being beyond amazed and distracted by this news. The main character, looking soulless, got a call from his editor. As he answered the call, his editor asked where he was. He said he was just heading home, and the editor said she would come to his house later. As the main character came home, we saw his sister and mother jumping over him, hugging him, and asking what he meant by retiring. His sister asked, "Why would you quit? Are you getting bullied?" The main character said, "Not really," and asked what had gotten into them. His sister said, "Can you blame us for it? You dropped a drama bomb and said you were retiring. This was a big thing, you know." We saw his mom in anger, saying that if someone hurt her son, she would have a few words with him. The main character said he wasn't getting bullied and it was all okay. As he was sitting on the couch, his family asked him what made him quit. The main character, just getting scared by his sister, and with a sad atmosphere around, said he had lost his motivation in writing. The mother asked him if it was writer's block. The main character said, "No, it's not." The sister cried out to him, saying, "Why? What is the problem?" She was trembling with emotions and said she would die if she didn't read his novels regularly. We saw the mother coming closer, hugging him, and patting his head. She said she wouldn't ask what happened. She loved his work, but she loved him 100 million times more. The main character became emotional. We saw that his sister had the same kind of emotion as both of them were hugging him. His sister said that if he decided it, she would accept his choice. We saw the main character crying too. We saw someone open the door, and the main character's father rushed toward him, hugging him, and asking why he was suddenly giving up. "You cannot give up on this. Even the vice editor will get fired if you quit. You are a treasure to the company, and you cannot retire." He got grabbed by someone, and we saw that it was his wife, saying, "Stop bullying my son." The main character's father apologized for it. The main character said, "How pathetic." We saw a bike near the main character's house. A woman removed her helmet and moved toward the main character's room. She said, "The vice editor-in-chief left this to me." We got to know that she was the editor of our main character. He was surprised to see her. She called him sensei and said, "Hop on the bike." The main character wondered what was going on. She said he was coming with her and she would borrow him for a bit. She said it was her mission to cheer him up from his slump. As both of them got onto the bike, she told him to hold her tightly. The main character was hesitant to hold a grown-up woman. She said, "Just hold me," and they went full speed toward somewhere. The main character thought, "Her hair smells good." They arrived at a fancy place. She apologized, saying this was the only place she could reserve at such short notice. He said it was fine and asked where the other people were. She explained that she booked the entire hotel. He asked how she could afford it, to which she said the company was rich and his novel was the biggest thing in Japan. As they were having food, she said to dig in. We saw them eating nice food, and our main character felt a bit less heartbroken. She appreciated our main character. The main character remembered what his childhood friend said to him and got a bit sad. The editor asked what the matter was. She guessed he got heartbroken by a girl. The main character asked how she knew. She said it was a woman's intuition. The main character said the feelings were one-sided. She asked if he wanted to talk about it, but the main character didn't say anything. He said it was about his leisure suit and embarrassing stories, and he would just get more depressed talking about it. We saw the main character appreciating her calmness and kindness as a mature woman, making him want to let down his guard a little. She said she was glad he didn't have any other problems. She guessed his childhood friend rejected him, and in a moment of desperation, he announced his retirement. But she said at least it wasn't his work or his character that made him feel that way. She said that a reason to write was important. From what the main character told her, she said that the childhood friend was the reason, but sensei, every author has a certain responsibility. The main character wondered what she meant. She told him he had become a hero for people, and just his one text had made it onto the news, making everyone sadder and sadder hearing it. The main character got a bit worried, seeing how much people loved him. Everyone was saying, "I beg you, don't stop. Come back. We need to see if their dreams come true. I don't know how I'm going to live without dramas and other things like that." Everyone loved him. The main character, now emotional, said that for a girl, he left everything and was going to abandon his fans. The editor said she understood he was having a hard time, but there were millions of readers who fell in love with his novel, not to mention his characters, and he couldn't just leave them be. The main character said it was silly and harsh of him, and he regretted how selfish he was. At the end of the day, even his childhood friend's rejection stemmed from misunderstanding. The main character, now without any emotion, said he made up his mind to continue and live for his readers and characters. He said he would retract his statement, to which she ordered red wine. On the other hand, the main character, as the author, got a lot of ruling on his retirement being cancelled in just a few hours. Stick with me as the main character and his image as the author get revealed, and we see the harem he has collected until now.
As he retracted his retirement, they were now heading home from the restaurant. In the restaurant, Mason guzzled down wine like there was no tomorrow, saying that she would pick me up first thing tomorrow on the train. We observed a few people thinking how cute that girl was. They were talking about the main character's manager. They had to take a train instead, and the main character looked toward his manager, who was observing his page on social media, saying, "Wow, look, you already have twice the comments your retirement announcement had in such a short time." He thought about how she was right and blushed as she said, "You're quite famous." "Yes, I see it now. I've been turning a blind eye to the people who love my work." She smiled and got even closer to him, saying, "I'm one of those people too. I just love you so much." The main character was quite shocked, as well as embarrassed, and said, "Haha, it's embarrassing to hear that in person, though. You mean for my work, right? I'm really happy to hear you feel that way." He wondered why she had to say it like that. We observed her blushingly say, "But I'm really glad. It's like I was finally able to do something, and it took a load off my shoulders." The main character couldn't understand, but then thought, "Right, she's still my manager and editor. If I actually decided to quit, she'd have no job. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking about your repercussions." She said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that." In an age where authors can publish on their own, the role of publishing companies like ours has changed. That's especially true of the relationship between authors and editors. It almost feels like editors aren't needed anymore. The main character said, "That's not true. I think you're very useful." She replied, "Oh, it's not like I'm looking for pity. Just keep in mind how I feel and what I can do for you. That way, I'll be able to remain the #1 fan of your work." Honestly, I was surprised out of my wits to see the expression on Mei-san, who is usually as calm and collected as a career woman. Somehow, it made her even more beautiful to look at. She said, "While we're at it, as someone who's a first-hand witness to your dedication and how dedicated you are, I know just how much time and effort you put into your work. I know it better than anyone. I mean, I'm your biggest fan, aren't I?" The main character looked at her with serious eyes. She continued, "My job is to remain the one who gains your understanding and understands you the most. Working with DG Mass, no, working with you has been the best thing to ever happen to me. Please allow me to be by your side no matter what. As embarrassing as it is to say, I want to be DG Mass's partner for life. No, your partner for life." We observed the main character's heart pounding, and he thanked her. It really made me happy to hear that she felt so strongly about my work and working with me, not just as an author, but also as a person. She understood me and supported me. In that moment, I was glad to have Mei-san as my editor. "Here's to our continued partnership," he said. She smiled, saying, "I'm looking forward to it as well." As they were having the conversation, she added, "But still, I do feel jealous, you know." She said, "Out of the blue. Of your childhood friend, that is. I mean, you, the author who robbed the world with his work, you who wrote your work for her praise being your sole motivation. That would make any girl's heart flutter, wouldn't it?" The main character said, "Maybe so," but he remembered how she had said to him, "Don't you dare say it," even as a joke. She didn't believe him anyhow. Michiru didn't know about me and refused to believe me. To her, I was just a childhood friend, someone who bore no resemblance to her perfect Kamamatsu-san. That's all there was to it. She apologized, saying, "Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up." But the main character said, "It's no worry, it's fine. Thanks to you, I've already moved on." She replied, "You're so dense," as she leaned toward his shoulder, resting her head on it. He freaked out, wondering if she was embarrassed, as she said, "Want a date?" The main character, after hearing such word from a beautiful maiden, freaked out, saying, "What's going on here?" as she rubbed his thigh. We observe him going bonkers, thinking her hand, it's too close, dangerously close. Where am I supposed to look? I feel so hot right now. She said, "Hot? Is something wrong?" The main character asked her, and she replied, "I can't hold back anymore." He said, "I'm not sure what you mean. I'm happy that you feel this way, but it's too sudden, and we're on a train." As he said that, we observe her listening to him. He even asked if she was listening, and she laughed a bit, blushing toward the main character, then hugged him, getting even closer, and started to say, "Then what's the hang-up? Let's date." Her chest was pressing precisely against the main character, who was losing his mind because of it. She said, I could actually tell you were interested in someone before. That's why I held back, but now that you were rejected, there's nothing between us, so go out with me." The main character said, "I don't. Why me?" He was stammering, unable to understand anything. She said, "Why you?" "Well, you're rich, famous, have a bright future." He thought about how she was too honest. Then she leaned in even closer and kissed him on the cheek. Both were blushy and flustered. She said, "Last but not least, you're very cute." The main character's brain was overwhelmed as the idea of a girl kissing him, especially such a mature one, was out of his mind. He thought about how she was completely and utterly drunk. "Hey, get a room. You too," people were saying on the train. "Dude, are you filming?" "Man," she kissed him. "Leave him alone." We observed how this caused a whole murmur. The girl still said, come on, say it." The train was arriving at platform 3, and the main character said, "Thank you, everyone. That's my stop for today. The doors on the right side will open." She tried not to let the main character go, saying, "Wait, is that a yes or a no?" But the main character said, "Be careful on your way back home, Mei-san. I'm glad you're my editor. I think we make a really good team, and I don't mean like a couple," he thought to himself. "Thanks again. Your sincerity makes you so attractive to many other girls, too." She gripped her hands as she freaked out on the train, saying, "I'm serious about it, okay? Good night." As the main character got off the train at the platform, he thought to himself, that was so embarrassing. I almost died from that. Being drunk shouldn't be an excuse for this kind of behavior, but he blushed and had a nosebleed thinking about her, wondering maybe she was just trying to cheer me up or something. Everyone was so kind. Mamutiko and Mei-san. Their kindness helped repair the damage to his heart. Not only them, but all the fans who eagerly awaited the continuation of his work as well. Let's go, all right? Let's go home and write the next chapter of DG Mass for all the readers and for all the characters that live in it. As the night faded and the chirping of the birds started at the main character's house, we observed his sister crying. The main character woke up, looking toward her as she was on top of him. He couldn't understand why she was crying, asking, "What is it? What's wrong? Why are you crying?" She said, "Sorry, I just read the chapter you posted last night, and I was so deeply moved by it." The main character forgot to tell us, but it looks like his entire family is quite a diehard fan of DG Mass. We observed her saying, "It has so many views, even though you posted it so late into the night," and so many comments. "Everyone was waiting for your return." "Thank you, Oni-chan," she said as she lunged toward him, saying, "I'm so happy. Never stop. Sorry I made you worried." The main character said, as he got squished by her, she rubbed him all over, saying, "Thank you for blessing us with this new chapter. I'm so proud to be the sister of someone who can write something so wonderful." As all of that happened, and they got to have some breakfast, she showed his energy. He said, well, as he greeted everyone, morning, to his family. We observed his dad crying, coming toward him and hugging him, saying, "Thank you. Thank you for not quitting. Now I won't get fired. You're my own family savior. He said, I couldn't be prouder. His mother said, Dear, stop clinging to him. Good morning, Yuta. What is he? An octopus, he said to his mother as she replied. And you, dear, get your act together. You need to be able to support the family, even if he stops writing. He said, Impossible. If Yuta quits, our family is done for. He's a god amongst us mortals. She said, That's true. You're pathetic and useless at your job. The only reason you're still employed is because you're the father of him. That hurt his father, but it was the truth. Everyone laughed at it, and we observed his mother coming closer to him and hugging him, saying, I'm glad you feel better. Ignore him. If you ever want to quit for real, just go ahead and do it. She continued, But are you sure they can support us? It'll be okay. We'll find a way to make things work. I'm managing the finances, after all. Don't worry and just do what you want, but don't forget about school, okay? You're still a high school student, just like everyone else. You need to study and experience life. So, even if a certain someone expects too much from you, you can just ignore him. As his father was emotional, she continued, saying, The more you force yourself to do something you don't want to do, the more you make me worry. We observed the sobbing as it happened, and even his sister joined them, saying, I don't want to see you sad either. They were all so kind. He thought, feeling the warmth of the family. Thank you, but really, I'm okay with it. I still want to write. We observe his father even wanting to join, saying, Let me give you a kiss as well. But his mother spanked him off. Anyways, now let's have breakfast before it's too late. Honey, your tamagoyaki is the best in Japan. Dad passed the soy sauce. The next story regards Digital Masters, the web novel that has recently become a cultural phenomenon. Look, only chance DG Mass is on the news. The retirement statement has now been retracted, but it still caused passionate reactions in the time it was given. The main character's spirits sank as his mother said, Every channel is talking about it right now. He didn't know he was so famous. Slow news day, huh? No, Yuta, you just don't get it. Matsu Sensei's DG Mass is as massive as franchises that have sold a crazy number of printed copies and anime Blu-rays, and now it has a box office revenue of 50 billion yen. The main character was absolutely freaked out hearing this number. That's right, it's a lot. When did we make that much? In fact, there was going to be a party to celebrate the achievements. Do you want to attend? The main character was quite surprised, judging from her expression. Zakurikan hasn't told you about it yet, has she? You know, to commemorate the movie's 50 billion yen milestone, they will be hosting a party specifically for the movie's production too. Is that so? That's amazing. A party reservation, isn't it, at the first-class hotel next to the Metropolitan Government Building? They're going all out here, and they booked the entire hotel. His father said, That's just how much money he has made from that movie. Impressive, his mother said. But of course, if Yuta-chan was anything less than an absolute genius, he couldn't have written DG Mass. The main character thought about how his whole family was so kind. Once again, his father asked if he was coming. The main character thought quite deeply about it. Should he come? His mother said, Does he need to attend? He hasn't really been to such events before, has he? His sister said, You're trying to hide your identity, right? The main character thought about hiding his identity as one reason, but the bigger reason would be, certainly, although I'm not popular with the girls anyways. Before this, I used to feel like I was cheating on Michiru, but now I know it was all just in my head. I'm certainly getting carried away a lot. His sister asked, What's the matter? His father said, All right, I'll tell them you can't come. But the main character stopped his father, saying, Wait, Dad, I want to go. His father was quite surprised hearing his son say that. But the main character had made up his mind, thinking, That's right, Michiru is not a concern anymore, and this will help me get over her. I see. Got it. I will tell everyone now. It will be fun, I promise. You'll get to meet plenty of new faces, like the director or the super famous voice actress, Yamagani Yuria, along with the rest of the cast, of course. The main character thought about Yamagani Yuria. What? You mean the one who voiced the lead in my anime? That super popular, super beautiful high school. He thought, I've heard her name from one of the anime tapes I had. He imagined how both of them would meet. I'm Yamagani Yuria. Nice to meet you. He remembered her voice, leaving a deep impression on him. His father said, "Oh, I can't wait. Gotta bring plenty of autograph boards." His mother said, "Are you planning on using our son to get autographs from these VAs? You're really pathetic." Either way, the main character thought this would be his first party, and he was very excited. We observe his sister trying to search for the girl, and as she found her, she thought about how she was really beautiful. I'm sure that this party will mark the beginning of a new chapter in the life of the main character. Wearing a brand new suit, I headed off to a certain hotel in Shinjuku to attend a celebratory party with the DG Moss movie crew. He thinks to himself, "Sure, I'm here with my dad, but I'm still nervous." As they walk through, they celebrate, and his father says, "All right, let's get inside. I'll show you around the venue. So just try to keep up." "Oh, okay." He replies out a few minutes later, he was lost. "What do I do?" We ended up completely lost inside the whole hotel. There was no one here. This is definitely not the right place. He glances around. Dad?" His father says, "Well, this is strange. Hold on, I'll ask someone for directions, and we'll be back soon." He thinks, "I should have known this would happen." He was even acting like he owned the place. Sighing, his father had said, "I know it's your first time, so leave it all to me." The main character looks at his watch, thinking, "I've been waiting for 10 minutes now. This isn't looking good for me." He panics, wondering, should I just start finding my own way? A girl notices his panic and greets him, saying hello. His attention shifts to her, and he thinks, this is a beauty, a 10 out of 10 beauty. She asks if anything is wrong. He blushes, thinking, when I was at my wit's end, she appeared before me. She was so stunning. She stole my breath away, and she spoke to me so gently. Holy crap, she's quite beautiful. He says awkwardly, "Oh, are you talking to me?" He thinks, it was impossible for me to hide how frustrated I was. I'm stunned and look like an idiot. She's definitely going to laugh at me now. Her face is already warping into a smirk. He remembers a past incident when a girl said, "Sorry, you dropped this," and he stumbled, saying, "Thank you very much." Those girls mocked him, saying, "What the heck? What a creepy kid. Must be a virgin." He thinks it's going to happen again, making a face and thinking this sucks. But the girl just smiles, blushing, and says, "I'm talking to you, you know." He thinks she didn't make fun of me. She asks, "Are you here for the DG Moss party, by any chance?" The main character says, "Yes. Are you for that as well?" She agrees, saying, "That's right. Oh, and don't be so tense. I think we're all the same age. Are you in high school?" He says, "Yes. I'm in my second year, you know." She smiles, saying, "Oh, that makes 2 of us. So relax now." He thinks she looks really mature despite being my age. This is kind of nice. These events are always nerve-wracking, but being with someone makes it feel better. He blushes, saying, "Likewise." She says, "So, anyway, are you lost too?" He admits, "Yes, pretty embarrassing. My dad was supposed to come back for me, but yeah." She laughs, saying, "Attain, I guess it's pretty embarrassing. That makes 2 of us again." Trembling, she says, "Sorry, you're right." She adds, "If you don't mind, can I stay until your dad finds you?" He blushes but agrees, saying sure. As they wait, time ticks by, and it becomes awkward. Both blush, and he thinks, I should say something. If I could only strike up a casual conversation, but I don't have it in me. "You're so cute. Are you popular with guys?" Something like that. She, on the other hand, thinks, man, she looks even prettier up close. His heart pounds as she starts a conversation, saying, "Say, what's your name?" He stumbles, saying, "Oh, it's Akamatsu." She clarifies, "No, I mean your first name." He replies, "I'm Yuta. Yuta-kun, got it." She says, "My name is, just call me by my first name." He blushes, thinking she's too cute. She's an angel. She's so socially adept. He stumbles, "I could never be so presumptuous. I can't handle this." She laughs, saying, "Yuta, you're pretty funny, you know? Presumptuous." He thinks, damn, she's running circles around me. His mind is blown, but then he realizes, Yuri, her name. This sounds familiar. She says, "See, you can do it if you try." He replies, "No, that's not what I mean." She responds, don't worry about it. I allow it. We're the same age anyway. So what brings you here? You must have some relationship with DG Moss, right? He thinks, if I told her I'm the author, she wouldn't believe me. On second thought, she might maybe. She says, sorry, too personal? I won't force you if you don't want to tell me. He says, I assume you know DG Moss pretty well. She leans in, saying, no, I don't just know it. He apologizes, sorry, since you're here, Yuri. She declares, I'm the biggest fan of it ever. He smiles, saying, I see. She adds, I've been a fan ever since the very first chapter was posted. He thinks, this beauty has been a fan from the beginning? Wow. She asks, what do you like most about it? Her eyes glint as she says, you sure you want to know? It's a long list. He says, yes, please. Her eyes shine as she says, what I like most about Digimon is its charming characters, starting, of course, with the protagonist, Ryo. Yuri's face lights up with enthusiasm as she lists everything she loves about Digimon. This and that, all of them just feel so alive, you know. He thinks, it's clear she's read everything from the first to the last chapter. Wow. After that display, I was certain she was a true fan. It made me so happy. I can feel the passion in this story. Meeting such a zealous fan who wasn't a cousin or a family member made me so happy. He was moved, almost tearing up. She says, oh, I'm sorry. I rambled on for too long. You must be creeped out. He reassures her, no, of course not. I'm really happy to hear you love DG Moss so much. She smiles, saying, happy. He adds, I'm sure the author will be happy to know he is such a passionate fan. She agrees, blushing, just thinking about it. It would be nice if you were here, you know. Do you like DG Moss? He responds, of course I do. She asks, what do you like about it? He says, I know, right? The movement in the real shows was amazing. They talk about DG Moss for a while, and time seems to stand still. He thinks we had so much fun talking. It was as if we had known each other for years, or at least that's how it felt. She says, you're so amazing, Yuta. I was proud of being a longtime fan, but you know DG Moss even better than me. Sitting on the ground, she adds, to think you have such a deep understanding of it. I'm shocked. You have me beat. He says, thanks. When I'm the author of it, I feel a little bad, you know. She responds, but I'm also happy I was able to meet another huge fan. She adds, I haven't met anyone quite like you before. I don't have anyone I can open up to this much about my love for this series. I'm glad I got lost in this hotel today, you know. His heart thumps, and he blushes. She says, it almost sounds like you're happy that I've voiced the role of Ryo. He thinks, oh, you're the voice actress? That's right, still just a rookie, though. Beautiful high schooler, Kamigami Yuri. He realizes, hold on, I remember now. Don't tell me you're that Kamigami Yuri, Ryo's voice actress. She confirms, yep, that's me. He exclaims, that's you? Wow, my dad and sister talked about you. The super popular, super beautiful high school voice actress. She laughs, saying, thanks, but I'm not really that impressive. I just started. He thinks, she's very humble for someone so popular. Wait, I just had a casual conversation with a celebrity. She says, when the anime was announced, I practiced day and night so my voice would be worthy of one of Akamatsu-sama's characters. He was flabbergasted, but she adds, what? He's so great. It would be rude not to put Sama after his name. He says, is that so? I'm sorry, wait, no. I'm the rude one here. I didn't know she was such a big celebrity. She says, hey, Yuta, do you think I could have your contact info? He nearly has a heart attack, thinking, contact info? Why? Because I'm the author? Wait, no. He doesn't even know that. He shakes his head and thinks, but why then? She explains, I'd love to chat with you more about Digimon. We didn't get to talk much today, but it was really fun, and I can tell you're a really great guy. She hesitates. Is that a no? I'd like to get to know you better. He thinks, is she interested in me for me? This has never happened in my life before. His heart pounds, and he says, I'm sure yes. I'd love to talk to you as well. She beams, thinking so cute. They exchange contact info, and she says, contact me anytime. He replies, thanks, I feel so happy. It's like she understands me. At that moment, his father returns, saying, "There you are, Yuta." He adds, "Oh, Dad." With him is someone else. Yuta says, "What took you so long?" His father laughs, "My bad. Shall we get going? Can't have the author himself be late." When these words slip out, Yuri is stunned. His father realizes she's there and exclaims, "It's Yuri, Yuri in the flesh. Nice to meet you." He holds her hand, saying, "I'm Akamatsu Shoji, Yuta's father. Thank you, my son's work has been in good hands. Could I have your autograph, please?" She hesitates, saying, "Wait, hold on, sorry." Yuta thinks, "My father's going to get arrested one day." Yuri glances at Yuta and asks, "Did he just call you the author?" There's commotion, and his father adds to it. Yuri blushes and says, "I have a question to ask, Yuta. Are you the author, Akamatsu-sama?" Yuta admits, "Of course, yes, guilty is charged." Her mind boggles, and she says, "I see." Amazed, she has a new realization. Yuta says, "Sorry, I didn't know how to break it to you, Yuri." Even his father looks worried as she faints right there on the ground. Everyone calls out, "Yuri, what's wrong? Are you okay?" His father says, "Quickly, bring her to the first aid room." As they rush off, another woman appears, saying, "Is something the matter, Lady Eliza?" "No, I thought I heard someone say Akamatsu-sama. But it can't be right." Having learned Yuta's identity, Yuri collapsed, and his dad left with her for the first aid room. A butler says, "This way, please. Leave this to me, Yuta. Oh, by the way, you'll be going on stage as a surprise guest." Yuta freaks out, "Huh? You didn't tell me about that." His father reassures him, "It'll be fine. You're a star, the star of this show." Yuta is taken to one of the wings of the stage, trying to stop his dad, but he zooms off. An announcer says, "Thank you for your patience. Thank you all for joining us here today to celebrate Digital Masters Infinite Heavens Arena reaching a total box office revenue of 50 billion yen. Everyone claps and cheers, dressed elegantly. Yuta thinks, "I didn't know so many people were involved in making this movie." He's nervous, thinking, "I'm too shy for these sorts of things." He observes everyone looking charming, shining brightly in their fancy outfits, and feels out of place, thinking, "I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb." The announcer introduces the director. Now, a word from the director, Akiyama Makoto-san. She steps on stage with a glass of champagne and says, "What's good, Makoto-sama's here. It's not me, Takayama, got it?" "Yeah, we get it." She jokes, "Okay, you all know I'm not in a long intros, so I'll make it brief." Everyone's hearts race as she continues. The movie owes its success to both the greatness of Digimas and the hard work of everyone here. This is our victory. Yuta is shocked, thinking, "The director is a woman? I thought she was a man all this time." She says, "Today, we will be celebrating. Cheers to Digimas and all of you." Everyone cheers loudly. Yuta thinks, "Greatness of Digimas? Even if it's just flattery, it makes me happy." The director adds, "We also have a very special guest here with us. Can you guess who it is?" The crowd murmurs, and Yuta thinks, "Is she talking about me? Calm down, don't get embarrassed." She announces, "Let's give a round of applause to Elisa." Yuta thinks, "I didn't know there were other special guests." The crowd claps as Elisa appears. He wonders, is she going to sing? Where have I heard her name before? Elisa introduces herself. "Thank you, everyone. I'm Elisa Seba." Yuta realizes, oh yeah, she sang the opening for the Digimas anime. The director says the stage is all yours. Elisa, active for only 2 years, is already famous, having performed at Kahaku Yutagassen, a New Year's singing show. Yuta thinks she's tall with a stunning figure. She could easily be a supermodel. Even from this distance, I can tell how beautiful she is. She begins singing, "Within your heart, the days left behind are the sparkles of tremors." The song, the movie's ending theme, "Prevent Heart," captivates everyone. Yuta and the person beside him say, it has a completely different feel from the anime's opening, Radiant. "I can't stop these tears." Hearing it live gives her singing so much more depth. He adds, "I can hardly believe such an amazing person is singing for Digimas." But it's not just her. Everyone here has helped turn DG Moss into what it is. The crowd claps as Elisa finishes, shouting, "That was amazing. You're the best." She bows, saying, "Thank you very much." People cheer. "I'm so glad I came here. I'll never get tired of this song. I'm going to brag to all my friends." Elisa thanks the director, who says, "Of course, I cannot claim all the credit for the perfect performance. Indeed, it wouldn't have been possible without the wonder of Digimos." She adds, "In fact, I would like to invite another very special guest to the stage. Sensei, come out here." The butler pushes Yuta, Sengo Sensei. "Good luck." Yuta tensely walks onto the stage. The crowd wonders, who is that boy? He looks young, still in high school. Yuta feels their stares, thinking she called him Sensei. Could he be? The director says, "I'm sure you're all meeting him for the first time. Allow me to introduce the very creator of Digimos, Akamatsu Sensei." Elisa covers her mouth as Yuta gives a shy wave. He thinks, "I knew I wouldn't fit in." The crowd is stunned, then erupts in cheers. It's Akamatsu Sensei, the real Akamatsu. He created such a big thing at such a young age. That's incredible. Yuta didn't expect such a warm welcome. The director says, "I was shocked when Akamatsu Sensei accepted the invitation." She bows 90 degrees, saying, "As the director of the movie, I, Takayama, thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to work with your wonderful creation." Elisa approaches and bows, saying, "It's nice to meet you, Sensei. My name is Elisa Seba. I am very, very honored." Yuta hesitates, unsure how to react, thinking, they're acting so formally. Is everything all right with her? He notices tears in her eyes. The director says, "Come on, Elisa." Why the tears? Elisa apologizes. "I'm just so happy. I was always waiting for the day I'd finally see my beloved Akamatsu Sensei." Yuta thinks, beloved? What's she talking about? The director says, "I know, you always mention it. She's actually your biggest fan ever." As they lock eyes, the director reveals Elisa requested to use her song. Elisa nods. "You moved me to my very core with your spectacular story. When I first read it, my heart fluttered like never before, and tears of joy came out of my eyes. Before I knew it, I started writing a song. You're the first one to make me feel like this." Yuta is speechless, blushing. The director adds, "They didn't even have to pay her to write it. She wrote it all on her own because she loved your show. Her passion was the real reason." Yuta thinks, "My heart's going bonkers. I don't believe it." Elisa grabs his hands, saying, "Your work, you, have changed my entire world. Not just my career, but my entire life became brighter thanks to you. I've always wished to express my gratitude. I wouldn't be here without you." Can you feel my emotion, Sensei? Yuta feels something else, thinking squishy, squishy. I can feel its squishiness. She blushes, saying, "As a writer and creator myself, I respect you more than anything in the world." He thinks, "As a creator? I see. We both know what it feels like to move people with our words. To think another creator would enjoy my work so deeply." He says, "Likewise, Elisa-san, I deeply respect you as a creator as well. Your songs, Prevent Heart and Radiance, bring me to tears." She calls out Sensei and hugs him, her body pressing against him. Yuta panics, thinking, where did this come from? They're so soft. She says, "I've been dying to meet you for so long, and now that I have, you even blessed me with these kind words. I'm so happy right now." She tears up. Yuta recalls a childhood friend saying, "Don't you dare say that, even as a joke." He thinks, both Elisa-san and Yuri, too, accepted me for who I am. He says, "No, if anything, I'm truly thankful for you. Hearing your praise makes me really happy. To have someone who loves my work this much and even wrote songs for it is a great honor. Both me and DG Moss are lucky to have met someone as wonderful as you." Abruptly, Elisa says, "I love you." She caresses his face, saying, "Sensei, what are you?" She leans closer and in front of the crowd, kisses him on the mouth, showing her true love. She blushes, embarrassed, while Yuta dies of embarrassment, his face stunned. The crowd is equally shocked. She says, "This meeting made me realize you're even more than I ever dreamed of. You're everything I need. Sensei, I love you so much. Will you go out with me?" This was Yuta's first time meeting the super famous singer Elisa Seba and receiving his first confession. The director says, "Go, Elisa. Did you forget we're on stage?" Elisa realizes, "Oh no, what did I do?" The director adds, "Uh-huh. And wait, Sensei has something to say about it." Oh my, perhaps this was too much for the high school boy to handle. Yuta's brain goes haywire. The scene shifts to Yuri, who wakes up in the first aid room, jumping up. Yuta's father says, "I'm so glad you're okay." She asks, "Where am I? Where's Yuta?" He replies, "Enjoying the party, I guess. You're so cute. We're in the first aid room. You collapsed, so I brought you here." Her heart pounds, thinking, "Yuta, my heart is beating weirdly fast." Meanwhile, Elisa has just confessed her love to Yuta. The DGMA celebration party began with something Yuta could never have expected: a confession and a kiss from a super famous singer. He thinks, "I couldn't calm down for a while after that. I can't believe someone so stunning would kiss me. I only felt them for a moment, but her lips were so soft. Maybe this is all a dream." Elisa approaches, calling Sensei. She brings food and says, "Please eat with me." He says, "Oh, thank you for going through the trouble." She smiles. It was nothing. Her plump lips make him think, "Crap, I'm getting nervous again." He panics, saying, "The food here is quite delicious. A high-class hotel, sure, doesn't disappoint." Looking at her munching, he thinks, "She looks even prettier up close. I heard her mother is British. She has such lustrous blonde hair and incredible proportions. Hard to believe she's just 18. Jesus, she's so popular and talented. It's like we're not even the same species." She takes a piece of steak and says, "Here you go," wanting to feed him. This makes him tense. He says, "That's too much of an honor. I can't possibly have you feed me." She insists, "You don't need to hold back. If anything, it's my honor." He protests, "I can eat on my own." She looks sad, saying, "Am I not good enough?" with puppy eyes. He thinks, it's unfair. He relents. "That's not at all. I'm glad." She says, "In that case, yeah." He opens his mouth, and she feeds him. She asks, "Do you like it?" He says, "You're right, it's delicious." She leans close and whispers, "Then did you like my lips too?" Startled, he freezes as she holds him. She says, "It was actually my first time. I was so nervous, and my body feels hot for some reason." "Hey, Sensei, what should I do?" He thinks, "That's the same question I have in my mind." Everyone watches them. Someone interrupts, "Excuse me, sorry, do you mind?" "Thanks, I finally found you. It's Yuri." Yuta asks, "Are you feeling better now?" She says, "Yes, don't worry. I'm fine now. Thank goodness you're still here. Sensei, I miss seeing you on stage." He thinks, thank God she didn't see us kissing. Elisa, looking jealous, grabs Yuta's arm, saying, "Sensei, those dishes over there look delicious. Let's have a taste." She drags him, but Yuta says, "I want to talk to her for a bit, so you can go ahead." Elisa and Yuri stare at each other. Elisa says, "Very well, I'll stay here too," standing possessively in front of Yuta. He thinks, what's going on? Yuri says, "I just wanted to say one thing to you." Yuta notices she's not calling him Yuta, thinking, I guess she's minding her manners around others. What does she want to tell me? She says, "Thank you for creating DGMOS. Reading it always filled me with courage." Yuta blushes as Elisa watches. Yuri continues, "In difficult times, whenever I fell down, you and your work always cheer me up." She smiles, grabs his hand, and says, "I've always been waiting for the day I could thank you in person from the bottom of my heart. So, thank you so much." Her pure, honest expression makes him think, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I wrote DGMOS, and I'll keep writing it. I never expected to be thanked by so many people. Tears well up as he says, "No, I should be the one to thank you for reading and enjoying my work." They blush, and Yuri stumbles, falling into his arms. They embrace, and Elisa looks distressed. Yuta asks, "Are you okay? Maybe you still need some rest." Yuri says, "No, I'm fine. I was just too happy. But really, you're as kind as I thought. Aren't you, Yuta-kun? He blushes, saying, "You're flattering me." Elisa, angry, stamps her foot and steps between them, saying, "Who do you think you are, and who gave you the right to call him Yuta-kun?" Yuta intervenes, "Hold on, I really don't mind. I'm not that important of a figure anyway." Yuri apologizes, "She's right. I'll be sure to mind my manners in front of you." Yuta says, "Like I said, it's fine. You don't have to call me sensei, Yuri." Elisa is shocked, saying, "You two are pretty close." She grabs Yuta's hand and announces, "Who are you to my boyfriend?" They stare each other down. Yuta thinks, "Wait, I don't remember agreeing to go out with her. When did I become her boyfriend?" Yuri asks, "Boyfriend? Yuta-kun, are you dating her?" Elisa says, "That's right." Yuta shakes his head, "No, I'm not." Yuri smiles, "That's a relief." Elisa pouts like a grumpy baby, then clings to Yuta, saying, "Sensei, please just call me Eliza as well." He hesitates, "I'm not sure about that. I mean, you're older than me." She pleads, "Pretty please, Sensei." He thinks, she's just too cute. "Well, I'm already calling Yuri by her name." He says, "All right, Eliza." She beams, hugging him tightly, saying, "As you wish, Yuta-sama." He thinks, that's even worse. Something normal would be fine. She hugs him again, laughing. Yuri thinks, "What's with that smug look? I haven't said anything to you." Yuta says, "Hey, stop, I can't breathe." They all laugh, and Yuta struggles between the two girls. They take a photo together. The rest of the celebration party passes in a flash. Receiving gratitude from so many people leaves a deep impression on Yuta. He realizes his childhood friend's approval meant nothing. Everyone gathers for pictures, autographs, or to talk, but Yuta thinks, "I've forgotten something." It's his father, lost again. He calls out, "Yuta, Yuri, where are you? I got lost." Meanwhile, Yuta's childhood friend, Michiru, remains boastfully ignorant. Watching the news, she sees, went to DG Moss's party and got to meet Akamatsu-sama. She notices Yuta's face in a picture, partially covered by a sticker, and thinks his face is behind the sticker, but doesn't that look like Yuta? This is getting interesting. She recalls dismissing him, saying, "There's no way I'll believe you're Akamatsu-sama." But her heart stings as she thinks. Until now, no matter how mean I was, Yuta always laughed it off. If he's crying, does that mean he was serious? No, I won't forgive him for making light of Akamatsu-sama. Inexcusable, as if he could be a real writer. At least come up with a more believable lie. Seeing the picture, she wonders, was he telling the truth? The fact that I'm Akamatsu, the author of Digimon, I swear I really am him. She brushes it off, saying, "No way. I should just get some ice cream and clear my head." At the convenience store, she grabs the last limited edition strawberry flavor treat, forgetting Yuta. As she heads home, she sees a taxi stop in front of Yuta's house. She thinks that's unusual. Yuta's father steps out, calling, "Yuri and Eliza-sama, you should come in for a cup of tea." Michiru twitches, thinking, "What? Yuri and Eliza? Did I hear that right? It can't be." She sees Yuta and thinks, "Wait, that's the girl." She mutters, "Yuta, why are you in a suit? What's with the lame mask type? Did he go to some event? I pity anyone who had to see him in that." She recalls him asking, "How do I look?" And her response, so lame. His tastes haven't improved since he was a kid, and he claims to be Akamatsu-sama? Don't make me laugh. Akamatsu-sama is far more refined, I'm sure. She notices Yuri and thinks, that voice. Isn't that Yuri? You're kidding. Why is she here? Why are those two, Yuri and Eliza, here? She panics. No, this is some kind of trick. They must be impression actresses or something. A new haircut? There are lots of people who do celebrity impressions. Yuta's just a regular, unsociable high school guy. There's not a chance in the world he's friends with those two celebrities. Yuta calls out to his dad, "I'm already so late, and you can't just invite two girls into the house of a guy they just met." His father replies, "You're right. I'm getting ahead of myself. I was just too excited. Part of my rudeness. Please don't feel like you have to come if you don't want to. I won't insist." Sobbing, he adds, "But it looks like the girls don't mind at all. They say it will be a good chance to practice meeting with fans." Yuri adds, I'd be happy to come in. Yuta's father is overjoyed, saying, Did you hear that, Yuta? The real super famous voice actress Yuri and the real super famous singer Eliza Sama are both coming in. How could I ever refuse them? Please, Yuta. Michiru, watching from behind a pole, collapses, thinking they're actually here. Now that I think about it, I remember his dad saying Yuta is important in their publishing company. Even so, why would two people from the world of DG Moss come to Yuta's house? What the hell is going on? Yuta's mother appears, saying, Dear, would you stop yelling? She greets, Welcome back, Yuchan. Yuta says, Thanks. His father exclaims, Honey, good timing. We have incredibly famous guests here. She scolds, You'll wake the entire neighborhood. Look, you recognize them too. He protests. That's beside the point. Stop acting like a child. Eliza makes a good impression, saying, I'm sorry for the last-minute visit. My name is Elisa Seba, and I wish to marry your son. This shocks everyone. Michiru thinks she's marrying Yuta. Pigs will sprout wings and fly before that happens. Yuri steps forward, saying, Nice to meet you. I am Komagami Yuri. Right now, I'm only a friend to Yuta, but I hope to call you mother one day. Michiru, still watching, thinks, Both of them? Am I really dreaming? Did I somehow end up in an ice sky? She squats, shivering. Yuta's mother says, In that case, please come in. She adds, I can't have you yelling on my doorstep. Besides, if you two are competing for the role of Yuta's wife, I must judge you myself. Her eyes gleam as Yuta says, Mom, I really think it's too late for this kind of thing. She replies, That's quite right. Since it's the weekend, why don't you two stay overnight? Both girls agree, stay overnight? With pleasure. Yuta's father shivers, and Yuta thinks, this isn't good. My mom is acting weird. His father clings to him, saying, Well done, Yuta. You'll marry two celebrities, and they'll call me father every day. Father, how about I wash your back? I can already picture it. Yuta's mother overhears and turns demonic, punching her husband in the chest. He falls, saying, This is also an expression of love, you know. She invites, Come on in, don't be shy. As they enter, Michiru, wobbling, sobs and collapses on her bed, thinking it can't be. She recalls their words, I wish to marry your son, and I hope to call you mother one day. She wonders, how does he know them? And why do they show him so much affection? He's just unsocial, gloomy, and utterly lame. She checks Twitter, seeing Yuta's suit, and thinks, that's the same one Yuta was wearing. Could it be? That would mean I insulted my beloved Akamatsu-sama. She recalls her harsh words when he confessed to being the author. Let's not think about it. It's all stupid speculation. I'll forget it all as soon as I wake up. Denying reality is all she can do, unable to face the possibility that she made a huge mistake. The next day at school, Michiru is exhausted, thinking, I didn't get a wink of sleep since it's all that stupid Yuta's fault. I need to thoroughly investigate and find definite proof that Akamatsu and Yuta aren't the same person. She recalls telling him, Don't talk to me anymore, and thinks, how can I talk to him after shutting him down like that? Some girls gather around Nakatsuo-kun, saying, Are you going to the Inter-High? He replies, Yes, we're going to win this year. Michiru snaps, Shut up. Can all of you just shut up? She thinks. Everyone calls out to Michiru, saying good morning, while a smirky guy looks at her. Yikes, why did he look at me like that? Why do they even care about that pretentious guy? His face is the only thing he is going for him. Did he seriously think I wouldn't notice him checking me out? Even Yuta is 100 times better than a creep like that. The guy's attention is on her, thinking, I heard she's never gone out with anyone. She's already married to the DG Moss novel. She's probably a good match for me, though, as he chuckles. Someone approaches Michiru from behind. She thinks, did Nakatsugawa actually follow me? But it's Yuta. She blushes, standing beside him, her heart racing. Michiru reflects deeply on the significance of DG Moss in her life. When her mother passed away and her father moved overseas for a new job, DG Moss was her solace. The story's issues and conflicts resonated with her so profoundly that she felt as though it was written solely for her. It was the first story to evoke such strong emotions, though she vaguely recalls another story from long ago that might have stirred similar feelings, now forgotten. D.G. Moss consistently supported her through tough times, and its author, Akamatsu-sama, became her beloved savior. This is why she fiercely protects his reputation and refuses to let anyone, especially Yuta, insult him or pretend to be him at tea school. Yuta greets her with a casual, "Morning." Michiru stammers his name, caught off guard. She recalls how he confessed to being the author of D.G. Moss and snaps. "What did you just say? I told you not to talk to me, didn't I?" Yuta, surprised, says, "Huh? I forgot. Force of habit, I guess." She softens, saying, "Whatever. I guess you can talk to me if you really want to." He smiles. "Oh, we're good then." She thinks, well, it sure helps that he talked to me first. Yuta starts humming a song, and Michiru wonders, how is he so carefree? It's like he didn't even bat an eye after my rejection. He asks, "Oh, by the way, did you do the homework for classics?" She panics, thinking, crap, that totally slipped my mind. I was too preoccupied with this whole Yurakamatsu thing. If it's true, I messed up badly. But no, there's no way in a million years. Trembling, she mumbles, "Homework?" Yuta notices her distress and says, "Hey, are you okay?" Damn, Marusan from class 2 chewed my ear out. He adds, "You look a little pale. You should see the nurse." She snaps, "I don't need to see anyone. I'm fine." In her mind, she fumes. "Whose fault do you think this is?" Yuta tries to object, but she cuts him off. "It's fine. The lack of sleep is really getting to me. I gotta calm down. For now, I just need to find proof that Yuta isn't Akamatsu to get these stupid worries out of my head." In class, Michiru borrows homework from a friend, who says, "Morning. Make sure to change up some words." Michiru thanks her. "You saved me. I owe you one." Everything seems normal, with Yuta acting as usual, humming songs. Michiru thinks, "I know for a fact that Eliza and Yuri went to Yuta's house, but I need to find out what led to it." Detective Michiru is on the case. Casually, she asks, "Yuta, got a second?" He nods, yes. She continues, "Did you go somewhere on the weekend? One of my neighbors saw you wearing a suit." He replies, "Oh, yeah. I had to go with my dad for work." Michiru recalls a post about a DG Moss party that weekend, thinking, since Yuri and Eliza are associated with DG Moss, it's possible they met there. But why would they want to hang out with someone like Yuta? If I were someone as cool as Akamatsu-sama. No, what am I thinking? Yuta's dad probably just happened to be involved with DG Moss due to his position, and he brought Yuta along as an extra. That's when he got to know them. She asks, "Did you make any friends there?" Yuta hesitates, then smiles. "Yes, of course." Michiru wonders, why is he smiling like that? Is he really that happy to have met Yuri and Eliza? She nods, saying, "I see," but thinks, just new friends. Why am I getting this feeling? Speechless, Yuta asks, "Michiru, are you upset?" She snaps, "Yes, I am." Hell, if you... A notification interrupts as someone texts Yuta. Michiru thinks, whoops, forgot to put his phone on silent. His family wouldn't be texting him during school hours, right? That's unusual. Who is it? Yuta says, "Just one of my new friends I told you about." Michiru twitches, thinking, "I see. So it's one of them. It could be either Yuri or Eliza." He replies to the text, "Ah, sure, sounds good." Michiru, now fully angry, clenches her fists, thinking, "What's with that sounds good? Why are you having so much fun?" She stands, snatches his phone, and says, "Stop it." The action is so sudden that Yuta is stunned, and Michiru, embarrassed, thinks, "What the hell am I doing?" It's as if I can't stand him talking to other girls. She stammers, "What?" Yuta asks, "Is something wrong?" She recovers, saying, "Homeroom is about to start. What if the teacher sees you with the phone?" He thanks her a good point. She returns the phone as the teacher announces, "Take your seats, everyone. Time for homeroom." Michiru reflects, "I'll admit, seeing him all happy got me mixed up, and seeing him laugh for someone else maybe did too." A classmate calls, "Michiru, Earth to Michiru." Some girls approach, saying, "We're asking if you're in or not. We're thinking of starting our own channel, and a beauty like you would totally rack up the views. Can't beat a cute face." Another adds, "Michiru, you're like a spitting image of your mother." Michiru replies, I don't even like my own face, you know. Oh, nothing. I'll pass. I'm kind of busy with something else at the moment. My agency wouldn't allow it. Besides, proof. The girls persist. What agency? You're no fun. Let me know if you make the channel, though. I could be your PR manager, make social media posts, and whatnot. Michiru thinks, gotta focus on Yuta for now. I can't let a single thing about him slip past me. The other girls whisper, she's acting weird today. Is she always like this? Maybe she's not that bad, though. Yeah, she even hangs out with that gloomy shrimp. Sure, they're childhood friends, but if it were me, I'd just ignore him. They recall past remarks. Don't bring that up in front of her. Akamatsu? No way. That shrimp's a loser. Gotta be a virgin forever. Nothing remarkable about him. Michiru had defended him, saying, what do you know about him? Only I, his childhood friend, am allowed to trash talk him. So cut out. One girl teased, that gives me tingles. I'm in love. I love you, Michiru. Take me. Amidst classroom chatter, the teacher calls out, name the verb, the fraction, and the adjective in the following sentence. Michiru sneaks a glance at Yuta, who thinks, am I imagining things? I feel like she's been sneaking glances at me all the time. He gets a message from Eliza. I'm looking forward to seeing you this evening. He smiles, replying, I'm looking forward to it too. Now that I think about it, it's my first time meeting up with a friend for tea. Michiru, peeking, thinks, what the hell? Are you flirting in class? The teacher notices her distraction, bonks her head with a book, and says, oh, Kula, you think you're so high and mighty. Michiru, embarrassed, thinks the teacher meant her, but the teacher continues, no, take your class seriously. Yuta asks if she's okay, but she makes a face, thinking, it's your fault, you know. After school, Yuta gets another text from Eliza. He thinks, Michiru was pretty weird today. I wonder what's going on. Michiru calls out Yuta. He turns, surprised, as she usually leaves right after lessons. She says, are you going home? He replies, yes, I have plans, but I'll be dropping my things off first. Michiru says, I see. This is just for the investigation, but do you think we could walk home together? Yuta, confused, thinks something's definitely wrong. What's going on with her? I don't really understand, but I'm glad we can talk like this despite what happened. Let's go then. He adds, it's nice to walk home together after so long. Her rejection might have been harsh, but Michiru is an important childhood friend, and that fact hasn't changed. Noticing her proximity, he says, aren't you a bit close? She replies, don't mind me. He thinks, really, what's with her today? As they walk, it feels like old times, but Yuta notices a flowery aroma, the soft sensation of her arm, and her intense gaze. Unlike the usual Michiru, he asks, why are you staring at me like that? She snaps, just because. You have a problem with it. He says, well, I think you should just watch your steps. They trip on the stairs, and Yuta, falling, saves her, ending up on the ground with her on top. She asks, are you all right? He groans, yes, I'm all right. She realizes their position and says, I see. That's good. He adds, Michiru, could you get off, please? I can kind of see everything. She turns red, scrambles off, and yells, then don't look. He protests, it wasn't on purpose. Besides, we bathed together when we were little, so it's no big deal. She shouts, excuse me. He clarifies, I mean, I've seen you in your undies many times in the past. She snaps, just shut up, you idiot. I'm sorry, okay. Still grumpy, she glares. Yuta notices a text from Eliza about waiting by the gate. Michiru, scared, says, hey, look at that guy. A bodyguard? A menacing person. Who is it, Yuta? Let's get out of here quickly. I think he might be a Yakuza or something. Yuta steps in front of her as the man approaches. Michiru shakes. But Yuta asks, can we help you? The man bows, saying, my apologies. It was not my intention to scare you. Relieved, he adds, I am Lady Eliza's personal assistant. We are here to collect you, Yuta-sama. Yuta says, oh, you're with Eliza? A limousine pulls up, and Eliza greets, hello, Yuta-sama. Allow me to escort you today. Michiru freaks out, thinking Eliza. Yuta laughs, haha, I wasn't expecting a limousine. That's a famous singer for you. Eliza smiles, my surprise was a success. The assistant says, "Now Yuta, please step inside." Yuta hesitates, looking at Michiru. The assistant asks, "If you were Yuta-sama's girlfriend, I'd be happy to drive you home too." Yuta corrects, "No, she's not." Michiru stung says, "No, thank you," and runs off. Yuta thinks she's upset now. It didn't seem that way to me. It's been so long, and I was kind of looking forward to walking home with her. I'll apologize tomorrow. I guess she doesn't like the idea of anyone thinking we're a couple. Eliza takes his hand, saying, "Shall we go, Yuta-sama? I'll show you to my house." Yuta blushes, "Your house." Michiru, watching from behind a poster, thinks it can't be. Yuta and Eliza are already that close? I mean, she did propose to him, but still. Someone calls out, "Michiru, is that you? What are you doing here?" It's Nakatsugawa and Abe, two wannabe jocks from the basketball club. Michiru thinks, "Those idiots." Nakatsugawa says, "Guess what? They're making us run laps around the school before the inter-high. So annoying. Why can't we just have normal practice? By the way, you should join the other girls and come see our game." She replies, "I have to check my schedule. Anyway, I need to go." She thinks, there's nothing more annoying than these guys. They whisper, "Dude, are you seriously into her? That cold treatment is just bad." Nakatsugawa smirks, "I like girls who play tough, though." As Michiru walks away, the scene shifts to Eliza's house. Yuta thinks, this is one fancy apartment. The city looks like a scale model from here. It's kind of exciting. Eliza brings drinks, saying, "Please make yourself at home." He thanks her. "Okay, I made some coffee." Sipping it, he thinks, I still can't wrap my head around it. An unsociable guy like me is drinking coffee with such a beauty at her house. It's not bitter, even though it's black. If she can afford a place in a skyscraper, I guess she can afford good coffee beans too. Eliza sits closer, saying, "Oh, Yuta-sama is drinking the iced coffee I made for him." Her chest is too close, and Yuta squirms, thinking, why does it have to be that sweater? She's so pretty and rich. Not surprising with how famous she is. She says, "Well, I'm not as rich as you, but yes. By the way, how do you handle your finances?" He replies, "My mom really knows her stuff, so I just let her take care of everything." She laughs. Yes, she did seem like that last night. Father-in-law seems quite unique too. Yuta chuckles. She adds, "I'm even a little jealous about it." He asks, "Speaking of which, where are your parents? Are they not home?" Eliza replies, "I live here on my own. My assistant visits a few times a week, and that's all." Yuta thinks, her family situation seems a bit complicated. She says, "By the way, Yuta, I have a rather bold request." He panics, thinking, a request? After she kissed me, when she says bold, I imagine something like what we did that day. She asks, "Do you think you could give me an autograph?" I didn't dare ask before. It was too embarrassing. Relieved, he says, "Just that?" "Yeah, sure." She beams, blushing. He signs a book, saying, "There you go." She exclaims, "Wow, you did it so quickly. You must be used to it." He admits, "Yeah, they asked me to sign copies for every new release, thousands each time." She says, "Wow, you're incredible." He shrugs, "Not at all. Here, it's done." She hugs the book, thinking, I'll treasure it forever. Yuta says, "It's nice to know someone could be this happy to have my autograph. Can I get your autograph too?" She agrees, of course. Lacking special paper, she uses a sheet, taking her time. She apologizes. "I'm sorry, could I have another sheet? My deepest apologies. I haven't done this before. I actually always refuse autographs." Surprised, he asks, "Any specific reason for that?" She explains, "It may sound surprising, but I'm bad at interacting with people." Yuta thinks, really? I would have never guessed with how assertive she was. He asks, "What about when you perform live?" She says, "It's not an issue when I'm singing. I concentrate on the song and block out my surroundings." He wonders, did she call me to her house because she was too nervous to be in public? What about the celebration party? Did you have a tough time there? She replies, "That party was a special event for a very special work. I couldn't miss it. Besides, if I hadn't come, I would have never met you." He nods, "I guess so." Noticing a worn-out first edition DG Moss book, he says, "You really love DG Moss, don't you? She declares, of course, more than anything in the world. He smiles, thank you. I love your songs too. She freaks out, hearing only love, and drops her juice on her clothes, blushing. Yuta asks, are you okay? She stammers, I'm fine as a frog first. Confused, he watches as she runs off, saying, I better change, right? She jokingly asks, would you join me in taking a shower? Yuta, floored, thinks, she want me to join her in a shower? Really? He stammers, wait, what are you saying? She laughs, sorry, that was a joke. He sighs, don't scare me like that. She says, it'll take some time, so feel free to explore the apartment, okay? Alone, he thinks, it feels wrong to invade a woman's privacy, but I might never get a chance to visit a stranger's place again. A quick look won't hurt. This will make good reference material for my story. Wow, this place is spacious. He notices an open door and enters, thinking, this looks more like a studio. Now, this is definitely a singer's room. It's soundproof. She goes through this many sheets to write a song? That's impressive. Eliza rushes in, calling Yuta-sama. She's in just a towel, and he freaks out. Eliza, where are your clothes? She yells, Yuta-sama, don't look. It's too embarrassing. He closes his eyes, blushing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stare at your body. It's your fault for showing up underdressed. She gasps, my body? Her towel slips, revealing her naked form. Yuta, nose bleeding, is stunned. She covers herself, blushing. How shameful. He apologizes. I'm sorry, I'll leave. He thinks, that almost gave me a heart attack. I can't believe I saw such a stunning girl in the nude. She was so beautiful. Oh no, what am I even talking about? Realizing she meant her music sheets, he thinks, when she said not to look, she was talking about her music, judging by her reaction. Now dressed, Eliza says, I'm so terribly sorry, Yuta-sama. It wasn't my intention to show you my unsightly body. He blurts, don't say that, it was a present. Mortified, he thinks, what the hell did I just say? She blushes, embarrassed. His heart races as he says, right, I'm sorry. My bad for going into your studio. She replies, no, it's my fault. I said you were free to explore. If I didn't want you to see it, I should have put away. I was excited and forgot. He asks, you mean the sheets of paper? She nods, yes, I've been working on the opening for the second Digimon season. Surprised, he says, second season? Already? It was just announced a few days ago, and we don't even have an air date yet. You're starting really early, huh? She explains, it always takes me quite a while to make a song. He says, I see. So, she goes through all those iterations every time. I'm pleased you put a lot of effort into your songs, don't you? She replies, songs are meant to embellish the main work, so I try to take my time to create something I'm happy with. Which is why I couldn't show you, of all people, something as disgraceful as my unfinished work. How humiliating. Yuta laughs. Is that what you were worried about? She looks confused as he says, I mean, I understand how you feel. I was really happy to get a glimpse of another person's creative process. It felt like I got closer to you. So, you don't need to be embarrassed about it, at least not with me. Blushing, she says, Yuta. She asks, would you like to hear the song? He nods. It'll be my pleasure. Her heart throbs as she sits at her piano. Yuta sits at a distance, captivated by her incredible voice and the beauty that evokes Digimon in every note. He says, that was amazing. I'd even say it's good to go. I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much. She replies, I'm happy to receive your praise, Yuta-sama. The problem is, I haven't been able to come up with good lyrics. He nods. Lyrics for this song would be nothing if Digimon didn't exist. So, I need to think of something worthy of appearing alongside your fantastic work. It needs to be something both the reader and the author can appreciate. She apologizes, sorry, I didn't mean to sour your mood. It's so impudent of me to talk about my problems. Yuta clenches his fist, saying, that's not true. Passionately, he thinks, she has so much passion and goes to such lengths for me and for Digimon. Is there nothing I can do for her? He offers, is there any way I can help you? I'm the author, so we could brainstorm together and figure out something. Her eyes widen. Do you really mean it? He confirms, of course, as long as you're fine with it. Tears well up as she mumbles yes. Panicking, he asks, "What's wrong?" She sobs, "I'm sorry. I just never in my wildest dreams expected to be able to make a song with my favorite author." He smiles. "Come on, we both work on the same franchise. We're like comrades in arms." She repeats, "Comrades in arms?" He explains, "Exactly. We have the same goal and vision, so we're comrades. We help each other in times like this, so we shouldn't worry about hierarchy. Please stop calling me Yuta-sama." She clenches her fist. "Comrades, I see. You're right." Calling his name, she leaps into his arms, hugging him tightly. He thinks, "I can't breathe, and this sweet smell." She cries, "Thank you, Yuta. Let's do our best together." He agrees, "Yes." They work on the lyrics late into the night. Meanwhile, Michiru reads the latest Digimon chapter, thinking today's chapter was so amazing, but there's also this. She sees Yuta's response to a comment. "I met another hardworking creator and felt like I had to step up my game as well." She wonders, by hardworking creator, does he mean Eliza? She recalls Yuta getting into Eliza's limousine, her heart sinking as she grapples with the possibility that Yuta might truly be Akamatsu-sama. Michiru sat in a distressed state, slouched in her chair, thinking about how Kimi Matsu-sama's comment matched up too well with what happened earlier. Does that mean Yuta really is him? But then she shook her fist, saying, No, 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 he's not. He's absolutely not Kimi Matsu. It's just a coincidence." She flopped on her bed, muttering, "Coincidences can be scary sometimes, I tell you." Doing so, she nearly fell off the bed. A ringing sound came from the door. She groaned. "Ugh, who is it at this hour? I didn't even order anything, did I? Not having anyone to answer the door for you is such a pain." She trudged to the doorbell and peeked through. It was none other than Yuta. She looked again, thinking, "It's like he's reading my mind." As she opened the door, the main character called out, "Michiru?" She asked, "What is it?" "It's late," he replied. "Sorry, I was just asked to give you something." She couldn't understand, but when the main character handed over a bag, saying, "Here, Nikawa-san wanted me to pass this to you," she was confused. "Who?" she asked. He clarified, "The man we ran into at the school gate, the bodyguard." "Yeah, the cyborg-looking one." She replied, "Oh, him." He continued, "He was sorry for scaring you, and this is his way of apologizing." Michiru huffed. "I wasn't scared at all." But as she peeked inside the bag, she was startled. The main character asked, "What's inside?" She said, "Looks like it's super expensive tea called Gikuro." Michiru frowned. "I don't know about this. I feel like I have to give him something in return, you know." The main character replied, "It's an apology, so you should just take it, right?" She sighed, "I guess I will." Now in distress, she thought, "Wait, why am I having a normal conversation with him? This isn't right." The main character noticed her unease. She thought, "This is a chance for me to obtain definite proof that Yuta isn't Kimi Matsu." She invited him inside, saying, "We could try the tea." He replied, "Okay, I don't mind." She smirked, thinking, "Perfect. The investigation begins now." While preparing the tea, she walked with it in her hand. The main character said, "Also, sorry for earlier today. You invited me to walk home together, but I left you out." She shrugged. "That's fine. I didn't want it that bad anyway." Relieved, he said, "I see. Everything's good then." She thought, "He doesn't seem any different from usual." She asked, "So how was it?" He looked puzzled. She clarified, "You hung out with Elisa, right?" He nodded. "Yeah, we drank coffee and, let's see, it was just a fulfilling time all around. I didn't think hanging out with a friend would be this fun." Grumpily, she felt a surge of anger but said, "Good for you. So, are you going to hang out with her again?" She noticed his stupid grin again. He replied, "We haven't made any plans yet, but this Saturday, I'm going to Kawasaki with another friend." She slammed her cup down with a bit of anger, thinking, "Oh, another friend. Huh? Get off your high horse. I know I was the one who asked, but his boasting is getting on my nerves. Who does he think he is?" Handing him his tea, she muttered, "Nothing." But then she blurted, "I'm angry at you." She could understand why it annoyed her so much. Was it because he hung out with another girl? Was this jealousy? She shook her head, saying, "No, no way in hell." He asked, "Michiru, are you okay? You're acting strange today." She thought, "I'm not some maiden in love," and snapped, I'm acting the same as I have since the day I was born. Glaring at him, she asked, "So, this Saturday, when are you meeting up with that friend?" He replied, "At 10 in the morning." "But why is that?" She said, "Because I don't want to see your face on the weekends when I leave the house and stuff." He nodded, "I see. Well, good night." As he left, she closed the door, thinking, this is bad. I can't stand looking at his happy face without getting annoyed. And I couldn't even ask everything I wanted to. I guess I'll just have to observe him more closely tomorrow. Saturday, Kawasaki at 10. On Saturday, we observed the main character, Utah, saying, "I haven't been to this place before. It's a bit nerve-wracking." He was ready, checking his phone, thinking, it doesn't help that I'm meeting up with a girl. To make my nervousness less, after we exchanged contact info, we've been chatting online for a bit. Now she invited me to hang out. This was Yuri, by the way. He mused. It's been a while since we talked in person. Wait, does this qualify as a date? It does, doesn't it? Yuri arrived, spotting him. Hey, Utah, there you are. He recognized her, noting her disguise. She said, "Sorry for the wait. Have you been here long?" He thought, even in disguise, she still looks so stunning. I guess that can't be taken away from her. He greeted her, "Morning. Don't worry, I just got here. It's precisely 10 a.m., by the way." She smiled, "Thank goodness. Before we go, I want to apologize for before." He looked confused. She explained, "I was rather aggressive with Elisa and went overboard during the party. I'm sure I made you feel uncomfortable too. Once everything calmed down, I realized I was only troubling you. So I want you to know I'm sorry." He replied, "Oh, you're overthinking it. I really didn't mind. If anything, thanks to you, I found the party much more enjoyable, Elisa." She blushed. "Are you sure?" He nodded. "Yes, I am. Don't worry about it. Let's have fun together." Clenching her fist, she grabbed his arm, saying, "You're absolutely right. Let's forget about it and go." He thought, whoa, is it normal for people to hold hands like this? Blushing, he said, "No, I'm just not used to all this. You seem pretty confident. You're so mature, like you've done this before." She laughed. "Rest assured, you're the first guy I'm going on a date with." She blushed too. His heart raced, thinking, so this is a date, huh? Wait, first. If that's true, it makes me kind of happy for some reason. I guess I'm just used to talking to guys, thanks to my brother. Not that we hold hands, though. He asked, "Oh, you have a brother?" She nodded. "Yeah, he's pretty cool, but also a bit weird." He said, "I see." They arrived at a crowded cinema. He thought, it's so packed. It's a Saturday, huh? There are couples and families everywhere. Should have seen this coming. Did I mess up when that page recommended taking her to the movies? I didn't anticipate this crowd. She asked, "Do you think we look like them too?" He didn't understand. She clarified. I said, "Do you think we look like a couple?" His heart pounded and his brain froze. Blushing, he stammered, "I don't know." He thought, my heart almost exploded there. She asked, "Oh, what shall we watch?" He couldn't choose, wondering, do girls usually watch romance or something? She pointed to a poster. "Well, I know what I want to watch." He was surprised. "Did you mess?" "Are you sure?" She grinned. "Don't wanna?" He replied, "No, if you're fine with it, sure." She said, "Really? In that case, I'll go buy the tickets." Hold on for a second. He thought, she's gone. She sure is energetic. He felt someone's gaze, but noticed nothing when he looked. Yuri returned with tickets, popcorn, and juice. He said, "Thanks," but thought, what? How did you? She handed him a drink, saying, "Here's your drink and tickets. Can you even finish all that?" She smirked. "Yep, easy as pie." She was shimmering. He thought, wow, what does it all go? Looking at her figure, he said, "Right, the money." She waved it off. "No, it's okay. We're watching the movie I wanted, after all. Come on." She grabbed his hand again, leading him without hesitation. He thought, her kindness and energy made me really happy. As they entered the theater, someone was spying on them from behind. The movie ended, and everyone clapped. An announcement played. "Please do not leave anything behind as you exit." Everyone praised the film, saying it was so good. Kimimatsu is an actual god. At a restaurant, Yuri said, "It doesn't get old no matter how many times I see it." "I'm also sorry for scaring you like that. I always burst into tears during that scene. I'm even tearing up thinking about it now." He thought. Everyone else was crying too. I didn't expect to be surrounded by tears. Is it normal for people to clap after the movie ends? She explained, that's just all the Digimass fans showing their appreciation for your work. He smiled. That makes me happy, but that would mean they're also showing appreciation for you and the rest of the staff, wouldn't it? Her heart thumped. She said, you taken? He thought, not only is Yuri a talented voice actress, but her expressions are extremely charming. I look like a loser in comparison. Now I kind of feel sorry for her. She looked confused. He dumbly said, sorry, it's just that I'm not really worth going on a date with. She touched his lips, saying, shush, no more negative thoughts, okay? Got it. If you keep thinking you're not any good, eventually those thoughts will become reality. He thought, that surprised me, and said, a self-fulfilling prophecy? She laughed. Yes, which is why you should think, I am the great Kimi Matsu who made 50 billion. You deserve that much confidence, you know. Smiling, she made him blush. A thumping noise came from the table behind them. Everyone turned to look. It was Michiru, who had overheard the Kimi Matsu comment. Yuta checked on her, saying, hey, are you okay? Did you spill your drink? He was shocked to realize it was Michiru. While on a date with the stunning voice actress Kamigani Yuri in Kawasaki, they ran into her by sheer coincidence. Michiru noticed them. Yuta called out, Michiru, thinking, why is she here? Yuri looked at her too. A cafe worker asked Michiru if she was all right, but she dashed off, saying, I'm perfectly fine. Yuta ran after her, shouting, wait, Michiru, it's you, isn't it? She tried to cover herself with a mask, but her identity was obvious. She stammered, what's a Michiru? Me no speak no Japanese. He said, that's not very convincing. You forgot your phone. She thought, damn it, I should give up, and removed her disguise. He said, I didn't think you'd be here too. What a surprise. She spun her mask, saying, so what? I just had some things to do, that's all. He thought, well, that's fair enough. Yuri approached, saying, hey, Yuta, what's going on? He apologized, sorry for running off, Yuri. Michiru noticed her. Yuri asked, do you two know each other? Yuta introduced, this is Michiru, my childhood friend. Looks like she happened to be here too. Michiru was nervous. Yuri smiled. A childhood friend? Nice to meet you. I am Komagani Yuri. Michiru blushed, mumbling yes same. Yuta asked, anyway, why did you run off like that? And what was with that get-up? Michiru snapped, why do you care? I had to use the restroom, okay? But because of you, that urge is gone now. And I'll wear whatever I want. Yuri said, Michiru-chan, if you don't mind, why don't you join us for lunch? Startled, Michiru stared at Yuta. He said, yeah, that's all right with me. She thought, fine, looks like I have no choice but to grace you all with my presence. Yuri was thrilled, saying, really? There's so much I want to talk to you about. Michiru replied, it's fine by me. I have some things to ask you too. They were confused, but Michiru thought, it sucks that my cover was blown, but this is an even better opportunity. I'll extract every bit of information about the Kimi Matsu comment. They moved to a different cafe to avoid awkwardness. Michiru thought, wait, how did Yuta even know I was there? My disguise was perfect. Yuta arrived, saying sorry for the wait, bringing coffee and snacks. Yuri said, you really shouldn't have, Yuta. Looks like it's tough to carry. He replied, it's fine. You bought the tickets and everything, so we're even now. Michiru gave him a side eye, thinking, what is this feeling? Yuta handed her a drink, saying, this is for you. Shrimp avocado sandwich and cafe latte with no sugar. I hope it's all right. She said, oh yeah, thanks. You got all my favorites. He smiled, great. I've known you for a while, you know. She retorted, don't let it get to your head. Yuri, watching their banter, said, how nice. You guys act just like a couple. I'm quite jealous of it. Michiru made a scene, shouting, who are you calling a couple? Yuta added, Michiru and I aren't like that. She kicked him under the table. He yelped out, you're always like that. She snapped, shut up already. It annoys me when you deny it too. Glancing at Yuri, she thought, why am I letting this get to my head? It's like I'm showing off or something. What's wrong with me? I gotta calm down. Yuta asked, what's the matter with you? You're acting weird again. So, how long have you two known each other? He answered, basically our entire lives. We were born in the same hospital and live close, so we hung out all the time. Michiru grumbled, yeah, there was no escape from him. Yuri said, that's so cool. It's like a dream. So, Michiru-chan, since you've been together so long, you must have fallen for him at some point, right? Michiru thought, does this girl know what personal space is? Yuri sparkled, eager for an answer. Michiru, with a grumpy look, said, you're kidding. Why would I care about someone as plain and boring as him? And do you see his clothes? Yuri replied, I don't know about all that, but he seems pretty true to himself and really kind. A person I like. Michiru shot her an evil grin, thinking, you're really going to say that right in front of him? Yuta, flustered, said, you flatter me. Michiru, fuming, thought, there's Yuta with his stupid grin, over the moon to be hit on by a pretty girl. Yuri added, I'm not just saying that. I really do like you. Michiru thought, how stupid do you have to be to fall for someone like him? Damn it. Why am I getting so riled up? She snapped, silly Yuta. A famous VA like Yuri-chan only cares about her own popularity. I bet she says the same thing to every guy she meets just to get them to like her. Yuta scolded. Don't say that, Michiru. Yuri's loud voice cut through. No, I do not say that. Both turned to her. She said, I'm not that kind of person. If I say I like someone, I really mean it, you know. Yuta blushed, saying, Yuri. Michiru thought, no, not her too. What's wrong with him? What did she even find in him? Then again, if Yuta really is Kimi Matsu-sama, but she shook her head, that cannot be. He mustn't, which is why it's up to me to discover the truth. She said, Yuta, go sit somewhere else. The two of us need to have some girl talk. He was confused, but Yuri said, please. Yuta got up, saying, that's all right, and sat a bit away, sipping his drink, thinking, what's this all about? Michiru asked Yuri, so, are you actually serious about liking him? Yuri replied, yes. Is there a problem? Do you have feelings for him too, after all? Michiru snapped, I don't like him. I said that already. I'm just making sure as his childhood friend. Yuri smiled, I see. That's a relief. Michiru, with a skeptical face, said, with a face like yours, you could be dating much better guys. So why exactly him? What's so good in his bland, gloomy, loner personality? Yuri replied, but he isn't. I have nothing but respect for him. He's extremely kind and always puts other people first. Maybe you're taking him for granted because you've been together so long. Really, how can you not find him incredible? Michiru, grumpy, said, incredible how exactly? Yuri answered, his story moves the hearts of so many people. It was even adapted into anime and film. So many people were crying in the cinema today. Yuta Koen is the best author ever. Hearing this, Michiru's world crumbled. She realized everything, remembering how she rejected him. Shaking, she said no, and stood up. Yuri called, Michiru-chan, where are you going? Wobbling, she muttered, I have to go. It can't be. The waiter approached as Yuta rejoined Yuri, asking, where did Michiru go? Yuri said, I'm not sure. She just stood up and left. What do we do? Yuta replied, she did say she had something to do. Maybe that's why she left. Did she seem restless the whole time? Yuri said, I'm not sure. I feel like I got worked up and said something I shouldn't have. Yuta reassured her, it's fine. Even if you did, Michiru isn't the type to hold a grudge. Yuri asked, are you sure? He nodded, yeah. I'll talk to her later and smooth things over. So anyway, what should we do? I didn't plan this far ahead. Yuri suggested. In that case, why don't we do some window shopping or something? He agreed, sound good. In the mall, Michiru sat on a bench. Two guys approached, saying, hey, pretty lady, are you alone? Want to come with us? Do you come here often? They left when she didn't respond, muttering, ignoring us? Well, fine, whatever. Michiru was dead inside, her heart thumping. She thought, all doubt has been dispelled. Yuta is Kimi Matsu-sama. She screamed, which means I turned down a confession from the one person I love my entire life. A small boy stared at her. Yuta narrated, in the middle of my date with Yuri, we ran into Michiru and decided to have lunch together. but something seemed off, and Michiru ran off for some reason. He continued, I was wondering what she was up to, but we decided to resume our date. I'll at least text her. Her reply came. Something came up. Don't worry about it. Yuri looked relieved, saying, I'm glad I didn't upset her. They shop happily. Yuri exclaimed, wow, look, Yuta-sama, the latest issue of Digimass Manga. I'm going to buy it. He said, oh, yeah, it was released today. He thought, she's taking a while. Is there a line at the register? Looking for her, he found Yuri talking to a crying boy. He thought, he must be lost. Is that why she's taking so long? He called, Yuri. She said to the boy, hey, cheer up. We'll find your mom, no problem. You mustn't cry, you know. The goddess of happiness doesn't like crybabies. She showed him the Digimass manga. The boy recognized it. Yuta was surprised, thinking, wow, she used Ryo's voice to calm him down. Yuri said, that's right. Let's go find your mom together. The boy stopped crying, toughening up. Yuta thought, she's so kind. As they found the boy's mother, she asked how she could repay them. The boy pointed, saying, Mommy, that lady became real. Yuri said, we don't need any compensation. Don't worry. To the boy, she added, don't cry anymore, okay? It's a promise. She turned him into a man with a few words. Yuta thought, getting along and being kind to everyone is a talent. I am kinda jealous. The mother realized Yuri was Ryo's voice actress. People around gasped. Wait, is that Yuri? Oh, I think that's her. The lead VA of Digimass. Can I get an autograph? Yuri in the flesh. I gotta bring all my friends. Yuta said, hey, they know who you are now. Yuri grabbed him and they ran off. The boy and his mother bowed as others marveled. I never thought I'd see Yuri in real life. Yuta thought, she's just a normal girl in all the best ways. When I'm with her, her energy rubs off on me. I was happy spending time with her. Yuri said, I sure dragged you around a lot today, you know. He replied, oh no, I had fun too. She smiled, that's good. I really enjoyed it as well. Would you be willing to go on another date sometime? His heart soared. Blushing, he said, yes. Back to Michiru, people around her were hungry and wanted to grab dinner. She got relentless texts. Another notification came, and she read, terrified, Kimi Matsu, Digimass's author. Had a lot of fun shopping with a friend in Kawasaki today. She thought, this post leaves zero room for doubt. She yelled in her mind, oh God, why? Why did Yuta, of all people, have to be Kimi Matsu-sama? Remembering how she rejected him, she shivered, crying, why didn't I believe him back then? Why did I cause so much grief to my beloved Kimi Matsu-sama? She sobbed, wait, not my beloved. Yuta, dang it. But he's also Kimi Matsu-sama, so I don't know what to do anymore. Yuri's words echoed. I have nothing but respect for him. He's extremely kind and always puts other people first. They cut deep. I knew nothing about Kimi Matsu-sama, did I? How can I even look him in the face now? For 2 days, she arrived at one answer. Yuta is still just Yuta, right? The next day, dressed up for school, she thought, it'd be weird to treat him differently just because I know the truth. I'm not that fickle of a woman. As Yuta left his house, saying, I'm off, he saw Michiru outside, blushing. He said, morning. What's up? She replied, nothing, just wondering if you want to walk to school together. He said, like usual? She snapped, whatever. Are you coming or not? All right, you walk in front. Embarrassed, she thought, damn it, I'm so nervous. I actually can't look him in the eye. He was chill. She thought, I gotta keep it together. He isn't even my type. He's just a loner anyway, worlds apart from my ideal man. But for some reason, Yuta seems more dazzling today. I woke up to a new chapter, so he must be writing late into the night. Blushing, she thought, even the bags under his eyes are so cool. They're proof of his efforts. She knocked herself, thinking, cool? Have I lost my mind? Yuta asked, what's wrong? Your face is all red. Are you okay? She yelled, blushing, and tripped, saying, what are you doing? Don't get so close to my face. He apologized. I didn't mean to scare you, but seriously, your face is red. Can't you even keep your balance? Do you have a fever? If you're not feeling well, you should take a day off. He touched her, and she lost it, fully flustered, running off, shouting, I'm perfectly fine. He thought, I hope she's really all right. I should have stayed with her. I was awake all night. I'll take a nap until homeroom. At school, people talked about the new Digimash chapter. Michiru stared at Utah, thinking, look at him, falling asleep as soon as he got here, and he has room to worry about my health. He really cares too much about others. Today's chapter was on another level, I tell ya. Others said, whoa, no spoilers. She thought, no one else in this class knows he's Kimi Matsusama. He never reacts when people talk about Digimass. If he made a bigger show of it, maybe I would have noticed sooner. 3 girls approached, saying, Michiru, you're sitting in my seat, lost in thought. What's up? Blushing, she said, I definitely am not too excited to sit next to him today. They teased. So he's actually your type, huh? Wow, you always ignored him, so I thought you weren't interested. She yelled, you've got it all wrong. They smirked, no need to hide it. Nakatsuki-sakuen is pretty cool. They thought she was looking at the blonde guy, not Utah. Michiru thought, they don't realize what's going on. They said, sure, we've got it figured out. You were looking at Utah, weren't you? Blushing, she stammered, wait, what? Why would you say that? They teased, you didn't react to Nakatsuki-san. We all know Utah is your dear childhood friend. Good point. She snapped at us for making fun of him before. Only she's allowed to talk trash about him. She yelled, I said you've got it all wrong. Why would I fall for a shrimp like that? Glancing at Utah, blushing, she hoped he didn't hear. Another girl said, yeah, Michiru wouldn't fall for someone like him. She only hangs out with him out of pity. He has no one. Another girl shushed her, saying, you idiot. Michiru stood and ran off, angry. The girls wondered, she looked pretty mad today. Did I make her mad? In the bathroom, Michiru thought, what's going on with me? I'm not supposed to be like this. Utah. I keep subconsciously looking at him. When he's close, my heart beats faster. I react to him more than normal. I just can't. It's too difficult not to treat him differently. Her denial hit like a boomerang. He's Kimi Matsusama too, who always supported me with his stories. He's always been by my side, literally, and looked out for me. Just thinking about it makes my heart throb. Have I always been such a shallow woman? I love Utah now because he's Kimi Matsusama. Yuri's words echoed. Maybe you're taking him for granted because you've been together so long. Saddened, she read Utah's text. You okay? I don't see you in class. If you're not feeling good, go to the nurse. Tears in her eyes, she thought, I can't deny it. I think I'm in love with him. Crying vigorously, she said, I don't want anyone else to take him from me. Thinking back, I can't remember a single moment when Utah wasn't kind to me, even when I was mean. He'd laugh it off and forgive me. When times were tough and I felt lonely, he'd stay by my side. When I didn't feel well, he'd worry about my health before anything else. This has always been the case since we were kids. Utah's smile has always been, she couldn't understand what to do. She turned him down, hurt him, and it was too late. But if she did nothing, Yuri or Elisa would take him. Then she realized, wait, is it really too late? Maybe I can still fix everything. Yuri and Elisa only know him for a few days, while we've been together for almost 10 years. Yeah, let's Google this and ask Google Sensei what it thinks. Reading online, she thought, my chances don't look bad at all. Being the kind childhood friend he is, he'd never turn me down. I'll message him right away. She typed, I think I do like you after all, then revised, I changed my mind. I don't mind going out with you. Blushing, she thought, this is the first time I'm confessing to anyone, isn't it? Her heart thumped. Gulping, she pressed send, thinking, I actually sent it. Flustered but satisfied, she felt freed. Who knew I'd ever start dating Utah? But it doesn't sound too bad. We've known each other so long. His reply came. Phew, I'm relieved to hear you're doing well. Confused, she thought, is this it? It can't be. Maybe he's in shock. No further message came. Angrier, she said, don't ignore me. What is he doing, embarrassing a girl like that? Finally, he replied, sorry, I cannot go out with you. Her dreams crashed. Her face was a horror show. After school, Utah met her on the roof. He asked, what's going on, Michiru? What's so important that we need to talk here? She thought, Does he care that little about my confession? Clenching her fist, she yelled. You think I'd confess to you as a joke? Give me a break. He said, sorry, I didn't think it was a joke. I figured it was real, which is why I gave you a serious answer. Like I said, I can't reciprocate your feelings anymore. On the verge of tears, she stepped closer, yelling, I want to know why. You wanted to date me. I'm giving you exactly what you wanted. Why aren't you happy? He replied, it does make me happy, but I'm sorry I cannot. Besides, you're the one who turned me down. Why change your mind now? She shouted. That's because the circumstances have changed. Anyway, I'm the only one you need to care about. Her eyes filled with a grimace, but he calmly said, I did only care about you. You were my sole source of motivation. To me, you were my entire world, revolving just around you, even if it was one-sided. She cried. Then, Utah, why? He cut her off. After you turned me down, I realized my outlook was too narrow. It turned out I had a lot of people cheering me on all this time. Thanks to them, I was able to recover and find new motivation for myself. It pains me to think I might have never noticed them if not for your rejection. That's why I want to focus on those people now. So, I'm sorry, I can't go out with you right now. As he apologized, she was speechless. He started leaving, saying, that was my reason. I'm really sorry. She grabbed his hand, crying, you're just angry I was too harsh on you, aren't you? I'll apologize as many times as I have to. Come on, think it over again, Utah. He replied, I'm not angry. To be true, your rejection doesn't even bother me anymore. My answer won't change. She dropped to the floor, saying, no, this isn't right. Why don't you see that? She thought, how can you be so calm? Why won't you listen to me like you always do? Haven't you always been by my side? Still caring, she called him an idiot, yelling, you're an idiot, Utah. You've been mine forever. What else do you need to care about? As she ranted, he stopped her, trembling, and shouted, I'm not your property. He threw her hand away, saying, I don't love you either, so I can't go out with you. Sorry for yelling, but that's the truth. Left alone on the roof, she saw him with Yuri and Elisa, saying, wait, don't leave. Everything you just said is true for me too. Hiccuping, she thought, you and your work have been my support during hard times. How did it turn out like this? What? Tears streamed down her face. I want to go back to that day in the classroom after school. But it was too late to regret after claiming he could never be a great author and rejecting his confession. All she could do was sit and cry at her own stupidity. It was the weekend, a few days after Michiru's confession. Everything that happened, everything she said, echoed in the main character's mind. You're an idiot, Utah. You've been mine forever. Those words stung him as he paused his writing. Suddenly, some familiar guests arrived. It was Elisa and Yuri. They greeted, hello, thanks for having us. The main character welcomed them warmly. After staying over once, Elisa and Yuri had decided to visit again today. Yuri chirped, good morning, Utah-kun, while Elisa echoed, good morning, Utah. He responded, good morning. Then, someone dashed toward them, his dad, exclaiming, Yuri-chan and Elisa-sama, it's been so long. He greeted them warmly, good morning. Please come in. You're always welcome here. Elisa and Yuri thanked him with smiles. The main character thought, wow, they're taking it with a smile. They're way too used to putting up an act. His father continued, pardon the humbleness of our abode. Honey, bring the tea. The main character's mother replied, yes, I know. No need to rush. I'll get everything ready. You two go up and wait in Utah's room, okay? His father protested, oh, why his room? I want to talk to them too. There's so much I want to know. His mother pulled him close and delivered a paralyzing punch to his gut, hissing, shut it. The fist of love roared again. She apologized, sorry about that. The two girls, shivering, laughed, no problem, huh? The main character was speechless. His mother added, well, have fun. I won't disturb you. As Elisa, Yuri, and Utah headed to his room, Yuri said, your room isn't quite how I imagined it, but it's very tidy, I must say. Utah replied, is it really? Elisa admitted, I feel a bit nervous being here. He said, well, go ahead and make yourselves comfortable. He thought, I'm pretty nervous myself. I've never had two friends visit my room, and they're both so pretty. His heart thumped. Yuri said, "So this is where you spend your time." She bumped into something, and Utah caught her, landing on his bed. He asked, "Watch out. Are you okay, Yuri?" They were in quite the position. But this was Yuri's imagination, or what she wished would happen. Meanwhile, Elisa sniffed the air, then Utah's desk and bed, growing excited. Her heart throbbed, and tears welled up. She cried out, and Utah asked, "Why are you crying?" She replied, "How many sleepless nights must you have spent here in pursuit of creating the very best story? It moves me to tears." Utah said, "Sorry to disappoint, but I do get enough sleep, you know." Elisa, locking fingers with him, said, "I admire an author who takes his health seriously." Utah replied, "You're exaggerating." Yuri teased, "You sure having fun, aren't you, Elisa? Not that I don't know how you feel, but you're treating Utah almost like a god." Elisa blushed, realizing, well, rather than a god, he's more like a comrade, one I respect. I was just overwhelmed. Utah thanked her, and Yuri called her cute. Elisa huffed, "Don't laugh at me." Utah apologized, and Yuri said, "Don't worry, I know how you feel. Anyway, you two should sit down." They all sat, but Elisa turned her head away. Utah asked, "What's up?" She mumbled, "I just realized I've never been in a boy's room my age." Utah said, "Is that so?" Yuri added, "I've said the same before." Utah remarked, "You're so approachable. I was sure you had guy friends before." "I'm a bit surprised." Yuri replied, "I don't have any guys I'm close with. No boyfriend either. You're my first Utah-kun." His heart thumped, thinking, she means the first guy I'm close with, right? He said, "Yeah, I got it." Elisa jumped in, "I don't have guy friends either, so don't worry. You're my first too." Utah laughed. "It's a great honor to be the first friend of two famous girls." Elisa got up, moving closer, blushing. "You were the first to see that too, so rest assured." She was referring to the bathroom scene from Chapter 9. Utah blushed. His mother brought tea, and he thanked her. Elisa said, "Thank you for helping me the other day. I was able to finish that song." Utah replied, "Oh, really? That's great." Yuri looked around, spotting a box. Elisa leaned closer to Utah, saying, "You should come to my house again so I can properly thank you." Utah blushed as she nearly kissed him. Yuri interrupted, "I found this. Can I take a look inside?" Utah said yes. Elisa's move was thwarted. He added, "Shall we take a look?" Yuri asked, "Utah-san, what's in the notebook?" He replied, "Short stories I used to write by hand since I was a kid, until my dad got me an old PC when he saw me doing it relentlessly. He thought, every time I wrote a story, I'd tell it to Michiru." Elisa asked, "Is something wrong?" He brushed it off. "No, don't worry. Sorry, don't mind." Yuri hiccuped, reading the notebook. Utah said, "Pretty shoddy stories, aren't they? The handwriting, too. It's embarrassing." Yuri cried, reading a story. Utah asked, "What's wrong?" "With my writing that bad back then." Yuri replied, "Sorry, it's just that this story was so touching." Elisa said, "No way, really? Let me take a look." She read it too. Yuri exclaimed, "Wow, Utah-kun, that's a masterpiece." He said, "You're exaggerating. I wrote it in elementary school, so it's pretty basic." Yuri was shocked. "Elementary school? You keep surprising me. I'd say it's just as good as Digimass." Utah said, "You might not mean it, but I'm happy to hear that." Elisa, shaking, said tearfully, "It's wonderful. I love it. I can't believe you wrote something this good as a child." Both cheered. "You have to show it to the world. You should upload this story." Utah, confused, said, "You mean be a novelist? Polat?" Elisa urged, "Yes, you could do it right now. It's a masterpiece, and your fans would love to read your other works." Utah thought, "I'm embarrassed by it, but they're praising it so much." He said, "All right, I'll give it a shot." Both beamed with joy. Yuri said, "Right now might be too much, though." Elisa agreed. "True, sorry, I got carried away. You need to type it, and we'd love to read it more closely first." Utah nodded, "Yes, indeed." They said, "Do it when you have time." Utah replied, "It's about 50,000 characters. I could type it in an hour." Elisa gasped, 50,000 in an hour? "Do you remember the entire story?" He said, "Yes, I remember everything I wrote." I think it's the same for every author. Elisa and Yuri exchanged looks. Elisa asked, "Do authors really remember everything?" Yuri said, "I seriously doubt it." Utah said, "I'll get started, I guess." They cheered. "Go for it, but don't push yourself too hard," Utah-san. He began typing, and they made JoJo faces, thinking, "Whoa, his fingers are so fast. They're leaving after images. Such fluent motion, like a world-class pianist." An hour later, he was done. They exclaimed, "No way, are you even human?" It's easier to read than the handwritten version because you've fixed all the errors. He uploaded the story to be a novelist. Yuri said, "This story needs its own movie." Elisa added, "And a serialized novel and anime." They'd read it 3 times. Utah thought, "Their sentiment makes me happy, but I don't think that'll happen." My editor said the world of professional novels is cutthroat. Yuri insisted, "Someone would definitely serialize it. It's got so many comments already." Utah saw the DMs, thinking, "Is this real?" Elisa said, "Told you." It got traction in minutes. It was the only possible result. At 3:06 in an apartment, Utah's editor exclaimed, "Wow, you brought out the big guns on my day off. You never miss, do you, Kimimatsu-sensei?" Later, his family was overjoyed. His mother said, "You could join us for dinner before you go." His father, thrilled, and the girls agreed. "Of course, with pleasure. You're the best, honey." Dinner was served, and his mother said, "Help yourselves." Yuri thanked her. "Your cooking is delicious." His father, tied up to avoid disturbing the girls, said, "I know, right? She's the best cook ever." His mother snapped, "You're still not getting any." She added, "You're home early, Yutako-chan. Welcome back." Yuri realized it was Utah's sister, Yutako, who had cheer practice. His mother said, "She's been working hard since becoming a regular on the school team." Yuri thought, "That's amazing." Even his father was proud. Yutako burst in, yelling, "Oni-chan, I read your new story." Shocked to see Elisa and Yuri, she greeted them cheerfully, especially Yuri, with their own special greeting. She said, "Good evening, Elisa-san." Elisa, distressed, replied, "Good evening." Utah explained, "Elisa's a little shy, that's why." His mother asked, "Yutako, did you wash your hands?" She replied, "Squeaky clean." Approaching Utah, she said, "That short story, I Offer My Heart to You, was incredible. Our entire club was bawling, crying like we played our final game." Utah was shocked, "Really?" Yuri said, "That's to be expected of a masterpiece." Elisa nodded. Utah said, "But do middle school girls even read web novels?" His father interjected, "I'll have you know, owing to Digimasa's success, Kimimatsu-sensei's works are enjoyed by men and women of all ages, including happy, sporty, party-going middle school girls." He added, "Take a look at the Novelist rankings." Utah checked, with Yuri beside him, her hair smelling sweet. She screamed, 300K points. Utah was first in the daily rankings with 300,000 points. His mother asked, "Is that a lot?" His father, an editor, explained, "Honey, even big hits that become anime gather 20,000 points a day at best, a rare occurrence." Utah gathered 300,000 in hours. His mother beamed, "That's incredible. I'm so proud, Utah-chan." His father said, "You've been sent offers for serialization, right?" Utah confirmed, "Yes." Yuri added, "Like 100, including for a manga version." Elisa agreed. His father said, "Too bad for them. Utah's stories will be published by my company. Sajidari Kaku must have contacted you, right?" Utah nodded. "Yes, she did." His father envisioned, "I Offer My Heart to You, a best-selling novel, anime, movie, maybe a live-action film." His mother scolded, "Honey, now's not the time." Turning demonic, she said, "Shut up, or I'll make you." She cheerfully added, "Let's get back to dinner." A celebration of Utah-chan's success. Yutako asked, "Oni-chan, what's your plan? You're continuing Offer Heart, right?" Utah hesitated, thinking, "I wasn't sure. My stories are based on how I feel at a moment. Since Offer Heart was written in elementary school, I wasn't confident I could get into that mindset again. The three girls and his father urged, "You have to continue it." His mother told his father to shut up. Yuri said, "Off her heart was so touching. I'd love a continuation, if you're fine with it." Elisa added, "As a creator, I think the story's too good to end here." Yutako agreed. "Everyone from the club would love more. All your fans feel the same." Under pressure, Yuta hesitated. His mother clapped, saying, "It's late. Quiet down, or you'll bother the neighbors." They apologized. Yuta called Mom. She asked Elisa and Yuri, "Want to stay overnight?" They accepted excitedly. She said, "Lay out the futons in the guest room." Yuta helped them. They rushed off, thanking her for dinner. While cleaning dishes, his mother said, "I need these done. Can you help?" Yuta agreed, thanking her for letting them stay. She replied, "No problem. They're your friends." He thought, "Thanks for stopping them before I gave in without thinking." He asked, "Should I continue that story?" She said, "Only if you want." "You haven't replied to Mei-san yet, have you?" He said, "Not yet." She continued, "You can say no, Yuta-chan. It's your choice what to write. Don't worry about others' expectations, including your father's." Patting his head, she smiled, "Give it some thought. I'll support your decision, no matter what." Blushing, he said, "Okay, thanks." He thought, "I remembered when Michiru turned me down. The people around me supported me when I nearly quit writing. They gave me a new outlook and motivation. I want to repay them by meeting their expectations. Hesitation will stunt my growth. I'll reply to Mei-san, then work." Determined, he decided to publish "I Offer My Heart to You" as a series. Meanwhile, things weren't going well for Michiru. Laundry, futons, her room, and dishes were piling up. Swiping her phone, she saw Yuta posted a new chapter at 1 a.m., tears in her eyes. Sniffling, she thought, "I can't even look at it. Kimi Matsusama stories were my only drive to live. My mother passed away when I was little, and my dad didn't care, leaving overseas. I felt alone, but those stories took away those feelings. Now, I can't bring myself to read them. They reflect Yuta's mind. If any part seemed like an indirect criticism of me, I'd feel hated by the work I loved most. All I can do is look the other way." Elsewhere, someone threw a dart at a picture of Michiru on a dartboard. It was the blondie idiot, saying, "Dang aqua Michiru." Taking a breath, he sneered, "It's about time I claim her. I can't wait to see how a tough girl like her will squirm." The next day, at Yuta's house, he decided to make Offer Heart a series. Someone knocked. His editor, Mei-san. She said, "Good morning, Sensei. Sorry to bother you on a Sunday." Yuta replied, "No, I'm sorry for taking up your weekend." He thought, despite it being Sunday, she's in her work suit. It gives her a mature charm, always so proper. She bowed. "Thank you for accepting the serialization offer." Noticing shoes and heels, she asked, "Guests over?" Yuta panicked, trying to explain. His mother appeared, saying, "Here, for a meeting?" "Good morning." Mei-san replied, "Sorry to bother you on a Sunday." "Oh, I forgot to put away my old shoes." She set them aside. Yuta's mother invited her to the living room. "I'll pour tea." "Thanks and sorry," Yuta thought. Explaining a super famous VA and singer staying over would be challenging. "Mom, you're quick on the uptake." Over tea, Mei-san, excited, said, "Sensei, Offer Heart was amazing. No worse than Digimass." Yuta thanked her, thinking she likes it too. He said, "I'm not sure it can compete with Digimass, haha." She showed him the rankings, saying, "What are you saying?" "Look," Yuta thought, "Dad showed me yesterday, but he saw he was first in the yearly rankings. But I only posted it yesterday." His mother was confused. Mei-san explained, "He got so many points in a day, it's anime-worthy and competes with a year of animes." His mother beamed. "That's incredible." Mei-san added, "Points reflect reader satisfaction and expectations. They show everyone expects great things from you." Yuta and his mother blushed. She said, "Since you've decided to continue, I expect great things too, Yuta-chan." Mei-san agreed. Yuta, glimmering, thought, "I was unsure, but now I've made the right decision." They discussed technical details. Mei-san asked, "Can you stop by the editorial department next week?" He asked, "Something special?" "A meeting," she said, "something like that. It's important." He thought, About Digimass? She admitted, no point hiding it. It's an anime offer for offer heart. Utah was stunned. An anime offer for my newest manga? That doesn't happen overnight. He asked, are you joking? She said, no, our company has a good anime record, so it was easy to get the ball rolling. Utah protested, but even Digimass's anime happened after the novel sold. She replied, everything's different now. You're the greatest hit of this century, and your new work topped yearly rankings in a day. The anime can't fail. Or do you not want one? Utah said, no, I'm happy. She asked, what's holding you up? He thought, I only found confidence to continue last night. Realizing how high expectations are is scary. Things are moving so fast. She urged, be confident. His mother added, you can do it. The fact it's possible proves people love your story. Mei-san said, the editorial department and anime staff will support you fully. His mother added, count me in. And those two feel the same. She met Yuri and Elisa upstairs. Utah, shimmering, said, that's right. I'll be fine with everyone on my side. I made my decision. I'll do my best. Mei-san cheered. That's great. Yutako, watching from the door, said, interesting. I gotta let them know. She meant Elisa and Yuri, who were getting ready to. Mei-san left, saying, I'll stop by the company now. Utah apologized, sorry for taking up your morning and weekend. She replied, that's fine. Bringing your work to the world is my priority. Utah, flustered, thought, her face is so close, and she smells so adult. Elisa and Yuri stared jealously. Utah thought, why did they come down? Their faces showed jealousy for some reason. Mei-san freaked out. Elisa-sama and Kamagani Yuri? Why are they in your house? In pajamas? Utah stammered. There was a party. We became friends, this and that. Mei-san was shocked. Elisa stepped between them, saying, hello, I'm Agamitsuka, Elisa. Utah panicked. That's my last name, not hers. Yuri laughed, introducing herself as Agamitsuka Yuri. Utah freaked out. Not you too, Yuri. Stop joking. They retorted. What are you doing? Who's that pretty lady you didn't want us to see? Utah was in a tough spot. He expected Mei-san to clarify, but she smirked. I see how it is. Hugging Utah, she lied. I'm Sakadari Mei, Sensei's wife. Elisa and Yuri were stunned. Mei-san sang, now I must take my leave. Utah tried to stop her as she threw a flying kiss, saying, talk later, my dear. The girls, dazed by her charm, demanded, explain, Utah. Is that the kind of woman you like? It was a bad joke, but Utah was in a conundrum. He explained, and they left reluctantly. Yuri said, thank you for the hospitality. Elisa echoed, come again. His family waved. Days later, Utah visited Mei-san's workplace to discuss the anime. Elisa and Yuri were there. Yuri thought, what a tall building. Elisa was nervous. Utah thought, Mei-san called them for related information. I wonder what. They looked pumped up. He thought, I cleared the misunderstanding with Mei-san, right? A crowd gathered at the entrance. Elisa wondered, what's going on? People shouted, give me an autograph. Can I have a photo? Yuri thought, a celebrity? Utah mused, I'm sure you two are bigger celebrities. Someone said, Prince, calm down. You're so cool. Elisa wondered, who's this prince? A man glanced at Utah, saying, if it isn't my dear rival. Utah replied, long time no see. Elisa and Yuri, confused, asked, rival? Who's that? A handsome, dazzling Prince Charming, surrounded by fangirls, said, my rival, accompanied by two beautiful maidens. You never fail to impress, although I'm followed by a company of ladies. Elisa and Yuri asked, Utah-san, who is this, and why does he call you his rival? Utah started, but the man cut in, pardon me, I'm Hakuba Prince, light novel author, model, and son of a magnate. Pleased to make your acquaintance. He gave Elisa a rose. Hesitant, she said, okay. They met Prince Hakuba, a light novel author, at Mei-san's editorial department. He led them to an elevator, saying, what a coincidence meeting you here. Can't hide from the winds of fate, haha. Elisa asked Utah, is he really an author? Yuta confirmed. Yes, any doubt? Hakuba, hurt, said. You haven't heard of me? That won't do. He held out a book. Behold, and remember me. Elisa and Yuri saw Prince Hakuba's special. Elisa said, the face matches, I suppose. Yuta said, Hakuba-sensei is incredible. Son of Hakuba Pharmaceutical CEO, professional model, and accomplished author. Elisa thought, is he a magician? They recognized his work. The Crimson Executioner, Grimgao, or Grim. Elisa said, it's a powerhouse, second in rankings for 3 years. Hakuba declared, I, Prince Hakuba, am its author. Yuta thought, so cool. Elisa mused, is that pose necessary? Yuta thought, Mason always praised it. It's one of the most well-known fantasy novels. Imafan. Geeking out, he blushed. Grim is incredible. But I'm also enjoying Holy Swordsman. Yuri asked, he wrote that too? Elisa said, I know that anime. Yuta confirmed, thanking everyone. Hakuba slumped. Praise from you sounds like sarcasm. Yuta insisted, no, really, your story was fun. Hakuba thanked him, an honor to be praised by an author of your caliber. Yuta said, you're exaggerating. Hakuba mumbled, I couldn't come close to Digimas's 50,000 DVD sales. My defeat, he thought. Before you, I was the best. Yuta clarified, that's not what I mean. Hakuba said, no matter, you're the better man. Kimi Matsu-sensei. As long as you lead, my self-esteem. Revived, he grinned. Yuta, happy, said, thank you, I'll try my best. Hakuba said, I heard Digimas's second season is in work. Here to discuss that. Yuta replied, no, the anime adaptation of Offer Heart. Realizing he shouldn't have said that, he saw Hakuba baffled. The work you uploaded days ago? It's getting an anime? Yuri said, I was shocked too, but I knew it had happened. Elisa agreed, it makes sense. Yuta thought, hey, what are you saying? Hakuba, crushed, thought, a few days, not even serialized, and it's getting an anime? This is my fearsome rival strength. Yuta checked. You okay, Hakuba-sensei? Hakuba lamented. 2 anime series in your teens? I'm only getting a second in my 20s. He stood, but I won't be defeated. I'm here for another series, Bahamut Slayer, to get another anime. Yuta, excited, said, a new series? I want to read it. Fantasy again. Hakuba confirmed. Of course. Yuta said, sounds cool. I'll buy it. Elisa and Yuri echoed. Hakuba offered, when Offer Heart comes out, I'll buy it too. Yuta thanked him. Their rivalry warmed the girls' hearts. Yuri mumbled something. Yuta asked, what's the matter? She said, nothing. You look cute when geeking out. Elisa agreed. Yuta, blushing, said, stop teasing. They insisted, we're not. Seeing you like that felt nice. I fell in love again. Yuta's father found them, professional, saying, Yuta, you're here for a meeting? The girls greeted him. He showed them to the meeting room, saying, your editor's in another meeting. Wait there. Yuta said, good luck, Dad. He replied, thanks, bye. The girls noted, he's different from usual, so professional. Yuta thought, Mom chewed him out about this. In the meeting room, Director Midiyama greeted, it's been a while, Yuri. Elisa. Good to see you since the party. Been well. Yuta thanked her, we've been good. She said, Offer Heart is the best. An honor to work on its anime. Another successful project, Sensei. Yuta asked, you're directing it? She nodded. You weren't told? Someone slammed in. Mei-san, saying, sorry I kept you waiting, darling. Yuta replied, no problem. I heard you were busy. The director teased. Working is hard and messy as always. Mei-san bowed, thanking Elisa and Yuri for coming, apologizing for the weekend teasing. They said it's okay. Sorry for what happened. The director asked Yuta, what are they talking about? He shrugged, who knows? Mason grabbed a marker, writing on the board. Let's get to the point. You're here for promotion. A promotional episode for I Offer My Heart to You, Volume 1. Elisa and Yuri thought. A promotional episode? Mei-san explained, a 15-minute short-form episode for our website, like a PV. Yuta said, I don't really get it. Elisa noted, That's a lot of effort right from start. The director said, that's how high the hopes are for Sensei's work. With the Digimass anime team, we'll create a masterpiece. Utah, blushing, said okay. Elisa asked, so you called us here because? Mei-san confirmed, everything's worked out with your agencies. Elisa-sama, we need an ending song. Yuri-san, you'll voice the main character. They were thrilled. Of course, I'll pour everything into it. Me too. Thanks for the opportunity. Utah was excited. The director said, I knew you'd be excited. I ain't slacking either. Get ready for the best anime. Mei-san added, count on me to bring your stories to the world. Elisa vowed, I'll do everything to let people enjoy your work. Yuri said, I'll make sure everyone falls in love with your characters. Utah, teary-eyed, thought, I must be the happiest author alive. Everyone's so supportive. Clenching his fist, he said, I'll keep writing my best. Thank you for helping me. They cheered. The scene shifted to a karaoke bar. Kids sang, including the Blondie Idiot, adored by girls and boys. Michiru sat, saddened. Blondie's glances were on her. She thought, what a drag. Why is he staring? A girl approached. What's the matter? I thought you'd gotten better after agreeing to come. But you look tired. The girl, a fangirl but worried, said, you can talk to us if something's bothering you. Michiru thought, talking won't solve anything. Heading to the restroom, Blondie followed, saying, I'll be back soon. The girls asked where he was going. He smirked, drank too much cola. Gotta use the restroom.
The scene opens in the karaoke hallway, where laughter and chatter echo through the air, until someone notices two people missing, Michiru and the creepy Nakatsugawa. The tension spikes instantly when someone confirms the worst. They both went to the restroom. Cut to the women's restroom, where we see Michiru standing before the mirror, eyes swollen, tears streaming down her cheeks. She's broken, silently crying over the sink, her mind drowning in regret. If only I could flush away my mistakes too, she thinks, as memories of Yuta swirl down the drain. She tries to wash it all away, but nothing helps. Taking a shaky breath, she steps out into the hallway. And there he is, Nakatsugawa, waiting with a calm, chilling smile. Michiru, he says, smirking, I was singing just for you. She freezes, uneasy. He just called her by her first name without permission. Inside, alarms ring in her head, but she stays silent. Nakatsugawa steps closer, his tone shifting from playful to controlling, demanding an answer. That's when it hits her. This isn't coincidence. He followed her. Without waiting for a reply, Nakatsugawa grabs her wrist, his grip icy cold. She yanks back, snapping, I didn't ask you to talk to me either. But he pulls harder, making her stumble. Let me go, she cries, panic rising, but Nakatsugawa just leans in, smiling like it's a game. You should be thankful I'm talking to you, he murmurs, tightening his hold. Her fear turns to fury, but she's trapped, and he knows it. Shift to a tense close-up, Nakatsugawa pulling her closer, his voice low and mocking. You know, I do like a strong woman, he whispers before leaning in further. You like me, don't you? Her face burns with rage as flashbacks flood in. Classmates whispering that everyone noticed her staring at him, that she couldn't hide it. Why would I ever? She snaps, voice trembling. But Nakatsugawa just smiles, taking her fear as proof of his control. She shoves at his chest, shouting, You got it wrong. I don't even care about you. He chuckles darkly. Haha, no need to blush. Then, leaning closer, his voice drops to a poisonous whisper. Who else would you be looking at? Her face flushes red as he smirks again. It's cool, Michiru. Then, casually, as if the decision is already made, he adds, I'll go out with you. Time stops. She's frozen, not out of desire, but because he's already taken her choice away. Cut to the narrow hallway. Nakatsugawa slams his arm against the wall, trapping her in. Come on, just be honest, he says smoothly. I don't mind the attitude, but you'd be a lot cuter without it. She struggles, shouting, I don't agree to this. But he doesn't move. No running now. He murmurs, locking eyes with her. He's not asking, he's claiming. The silence is suffocating. No one's coming. Nakatsugawa leans in closer, hand reaching for her waist. You do have the looks and the figure for it, too, he whispers. Michiru trembles, stepping back in fear as he adds, let's get out of here. Just you and me. Panic takes over. And no, that's not going to happen. She screams, slamming her elbow into his face. He stumbles back, dazed. Ow. For a moment, she thinks she's free. Cut to Nakatsugawa, rubbing his jaw, eyes dark and unreadable. The amusement on his face twists into something colder. Almost amused, but dangerous. What the hell got you so ticked off? He mutters, his tone half a laugh, half a threat. Michiru doesn't answer. She's shaking, breath sharp, fury and fear colliding inside her chest. I just hate your guts, she finally spits out. His eyes narrow as he steps closer, his voice sharp now, anger slipping through. You can't say that after sending me all those signals. She snaps back instantly. There are no signals. I'm leaving. Spinning around, she runs, her footsteps echoing down the hallway. Nakatsugawa doesn't chase her. He just stands there, jaw clenched, eyes following her figure as it disappears from view. Under his breath, he mutters, "TSK, the hell's with her?" Shift to the hallway corner, where Nakatsugawa's friends appear, laughing and calling out. Hey, Nakatsugawa, one shouts. He doesn't respond. His friend smirks. We held the other girls off like you wanted. Another snickers. So, did you make the princess yours yet? Nakatsugawa exhales sharply, muttering, I don't get her at all. Damn it. The group bursts out laughing. For real. I could have sworn she was into you, one says. Yeah, man, we helped you out because we thought you had her in the bag. The teasing hits his pride harder than any insult. He straightens up, glaring at them. Keep your nose out of this, he growls. But his friend just laughs, patting him on the back. Just you wait, Ukawa-chan. Maybe I'll avenge you and claim her myself. The air shifts. Nakatsugawa's smile fades. He leans forward slightly, voice low, cold, and full of intent. I'll make her mine, no matter what. His friends go quiet, taken aback by the venom in his tone. One finally mutters, she's gone and done it now. No one's ever rejected Nakatsugawa before. Cut to Nakatsugawa pulling out his phone, face calm again, but his eyes dark. Yeah, it's me, he says into the receiver, a small smirk curling at his lips. We can move on with the plan. He pauses, then adds, I'll send you a picture. You just do the usual. Shift to the entrance of the karaoke building. His friends are gathering, calling out for him to hurry. Come on, Nakatsugawa. The rest of us are waiting. A girl giggles nearby. It's just too boring without you. But Nakatsugawa doesn't smile. His mind is somewhere else, already setting the next trap. I did run into her, he says casually, brushing off a question from one of the girls. She looked pale, so I told her to go home if she wasn't feeling well. Another girl sighs. She said she's going home because she's not feeling well. Her friend pats her shoulder gently. You're worried, aren't you? You two are close. Nakatsugawa waves a dismissive hand. Anyway, get inside. We're wasting time talking out here. Then under his breath, barely audible, he mutters, I'll sing one song. Then go check she hasn't collapsed somewhere. It isn't concern, it's control. He's already planning his next move. Cut to the dark, empty street outside. Michiru, on her way home, felt bad about leaving her friend so suddenly. It seemed she was being watched from a distance. Two men approached Michiru and started hitting on her. Michiru tried to ignore them, but this only made the men bolder, and they physically restrained her. It was really painful for Michiru. The two men refused to give up and wouldn't let her go. Michiru screamed with all her might for someone to help. The gaze of the two men became even more terrifying in Michiru's eyes. She truly felt desperate for help. Just as Michiru was about to give up completely, she heard someone call her name. It was Yuta, who had appeared suddenly. Michiru was confused why Yuta was here. But Yuta quickly pulled Michiru away and said that her father was waiting for her. It was very obvious that Yuta himself looked terrified. The two men asked who Yuta was arriving so suddenly. But Yuta said he was just Michiru's childhood friend. Michiru stands frozen, her breath trembling, eyes wide in disbelief. She can't process what she's seeing. Yuta, suddenly standing there, facing the two thugs without hesitation. Her mind spins in confusion. Why is Yuta here? She thinks. Before she can say a word, Yuta steps closer and says firmly, "Come with me." Michiru hesitates, guilt washing over her. Seeing Yuta's expression, his eyes filled with both fear and determination, makes her heart ache. She can tell he's scared too, yet he's still standing there, trying to protect her. The two thugs exchange glances before bursting out laughing. A high school kid? One sneers. "Get lost, brat. Unless you want to get hurt." But Yuta doesn't flinch. He takes a small step forward, keeping his voice calm but steady. "I'm here to take Michiru to meet her father." The thugs laugh even harder, but their laughter dies abruptly as heavy footsteps echo from behind Yuta. Cut to a tall, muscular figure stepping out from the shadows. Elisa's bodyguard, Niwa. The man's calm yet intimidating presence instantly changes the air. The thug's faces drain of color. Niwa folds his arms, his voice deep and cold. "What business do you have with my daughter?" he asks, deliberately using the word daughter. The two thugs freeze. They glance at each other, panic setting in. Is this guy Yakuza? Yuta quickly turns to Niwa, trying to control the situation. "Everything's under control," he says softly, giving him a look that says play along. Michiru, completely confused, just follows the flow, unable to understand what's happening. Yuta steps forward again, facing the terrified thugs. "You want to talk to her, right? So what is it?" But the men don't answer. They're already backing away, eyes darting toward Niwa's jacket, as if expecting him to pull out a weapon. We're done here," one stammers. Without another word, they turn and bolt down the street, vanishing into the darkness. Cut to silence. Michiru stands there trembling, unable to believe how quickly everything ended. Yuta looks at her gently. "Are you okay?" he asks. She nods slowly, though her body still shakes. "Thank you, Yuta." Yuta turns to Niwa and bows slightly. "Thanks, Niwa-san. You really saved us there." Niwa chuckles lightly. "You don't need to thank me. I'm just glad your friend is safe." Shift 2. The car parked nearby. Niwa opens the door and gestures. "Get in, both of you." Yuta helps Michiru inside, and she obeys without a word. Inside the car, the tension begins to fade. The engine hums softly. Yuta glances at her. "Feeling calmer now?" Michiru nods faintly. "Yeah, thank you for saving me." Then, curiosity slips into her voice. "But how did you even find me?" Yuta scratches his neck. "Honestly, it was coincidence. I was waiting at a red light and thought I heard your voice. I wasn't sure, but we stopped. And turns out I was right." Michiru's eyes widen slightly. "So, all of this happened by chance?" she murmurs. Yuta nods. "Yeah, but even if it was coincidence, I couldn't just ignore it." Michiru's chest tightens. "But why did you still help me, Yuta? After everything I did?" He looks at her, voice quiet but steady. "Because we're still friends." That single line breaks something inside Michiru. Her eyes fill with tears. She realizes that, no matter how much she'd hurt him before, Yuta hasn't changed. He's still the same person, kind, selfless, always protecting her. Tears roll down her cheeks as she says, "I'm sorry for causing you so much trouble all this time." Yuta smiles faintly. "It's not a big deal. I'm used to it." Michiru lets out a small laugh through her tears, slightly annoyed at his calm tone. But deep down, she feels at peace. For the first time in so long, she feels close to him again. And in that moment, she finally understands. She truly likes Yuta. Just as she's about to say something, Yuta glances toward the back seat. Michiru follows his gaze and freezes. Sitting quietly in the back are Elisa and Yuri. Michiru's eyes widen. "Hey, Elisa?" "Yuri." Elisa smiles awkwardly, while Yuri waves slightly. "Sorry," Yuri says, "we didn't get a chance to greet you earlier. Didn't mean to interrupt your moment." Yuta sighs softly, trying not to laugh. "Thanks for waiting, both of you." "Elisa, can you take Michiru home too?" Elisa nods immediately. "Of course." As the car moves, Yuri glances at Yuta. "You know, I didn't expect you to just run off like that to save her," she says with a teasing tone. Elisa smiles but adds quietly, I'll admit, I'm a little jealous, but he didn't do anything wrong. Michiru listens in silence, her chest tightening again. She can sense it, how careful they're both being around her. She looks out the window, trying hard not to cry. Maybe this is it, she thinks. Maybe saving me was just something Yuta did for his old friend. Nothing more. The laughter from the others fills the car, light and natural, while Michiru sits quietly, nodding at their words, forcing a small smile. The moment that could have changed everything for her slips away. Cut to, back at the karaoke place. Michiru's friends finally get a text. She's home safe. Relief spreads among them. But not everyone is happy. Shift to Nakatsugawa, pacing furiously. Those idiots ran off? He yells, slamming his fist on the table. The two thugs cower, shaking their heads. We're done with her, one says. That guy's connected. Maybe Yakuza. We're not risking it. Nakatsugawa's jaw tightens, rage boiling inside. Useless, he roars. Cut to, a few days later. Yuta sits in a quiet office across from Sakurai Mei, his editor. Papers are stacked neatly between them. Mei smiles. You really finished 300 pages in 3 days? That's incredible. Yuta shrugs lightly. It's not that big a deal. Mei laughs. Not for you, maybe. Most writers would take a month for that. She flips a page, then straightens up. Anyway, let's talk about the next step. We need an artist for your light novel. The illustrations are crucial for the release. Yuta nods in agreement. Makes sense. We'll need someone whose style fits the tone. Mei leans forward. Do you know any illustrators? Yuta shakes his head. None. Mei smiles knowingly. I thought so. Don't worry. We have a budget to recruit one. Actually, I already have a candidate in mind. Yuta raises an eyebrow. Who? Misaka Miko. Mei says confidently. Yuta blinks. Who? She's a famous VTuber and illustrator, Mei explains. Runs her own channel. Kind of like Gura Gore if you know her. She reached out personally. Said she wanted to work with you. Yuta is visibly shocked. Wait, she asked to work with me. Mei nods. That's right. Turns out, she's a big fan of Kamabukuro Matsu-sensei. Yuta exhales slowly, still trying to process it. Well, if she's fine with it, then so am I. Mei smiles. Perfect. Then it's settled. Let's make this collaboration legendary. Fade out. Scene opens in Mei's office, sunlight spilling through the wide windows. Mei stands proudly beside her monitor, grinning like a child who can't wait to show off a secret treasure. You have to see this, Yuta, she says, turning the screen toward him. That on the monitor appears a breathtaking illustration. Misiyama Sensei's artwork. The characters Yuta had written now stand before him, brought to life with exquisite detail. Their eyes gleam with emotion, the atmosphere perfectly matching what Yuta had imagined. He leans forward, speechless. This is incredible, he murmurs. Mei folds her arms, clearly satisfied by his reaction. I knew you'd like it. Misiyama-sensei is known for being extremely selective about her projects. The fact that she agreed to yours, it's no small thing. Yuta stares at the illustration again, feeling a strange warmth rise in his chest. I never thought someone like her would work with me, he says quietly. I'm really grateful. Mash moilsh. Then, I'll take that as a yes. Do you accept the collaboration? Without hesitation, Yuta nods. Absolutely. Cut to 1 week later. The bustling crowd of a train station fills the scene. Noisy, packed, and chaotic. Yuta stands near the ticket gate, scanning through the sea of people. He checks his phone. He's supposed to meet Misiyama-sensei in person today, but this place is far too crowded for a proper meeting. He sighs, typing a quick message. Let's meet at a cafe instead. Here's the address. Within seconds, a reply arrives, short, polite, and prompt. Yuta blinks in surprise. That was fast. Shift to a montage of headlines and social media posts flooding the internet. Famous illustrator Misiyama-sensei to collaborate with Kamabukuro Matsu-sensei. The announcement spreads like wildfire, fans flooding comment sections with excitement. Artists and readers alike celebrate the unexpected pairing, calling it a dream collaboration. Yuta scrolls through the posts, shaking his head with a nervous laugh. I didn't expect it to go this viral, he mutters. In the background, May's earlier grin echoes in his mind. She probably saw this coming all along. Cut back to Yuta standing outside the cafe, waiting. His phone vibrates. A new DM from Misiyama-sensei. The tone is surprisingly cheerful, filled with emojis and exclamation marks. She even suggests meeting in person first. Yuta smiles faintly. She seems friendly. That a good sign? He pockets his phone and scans the area. And that's when he notices her. Scene shifts to a small, petite girl standing near the crosswalk. White hair, soft blue eyes, and a style so cute she almost looks like an elementary schooler. But something seems off. She looks lost, glancing around frantically, asking strangers for help. Yuta watches her for a moment and realizes she's panicking. The way she looks around reminds him painfully of his little sister, Yutako, when she used to get lost in malls. His instincts kick in. He walks over gently and asks, "Hey, are you okay?" The girl freezes, startled by the sudden approach. Yuta immediately raises his hands, trying to look less intimidating. That's when he notices the phone case she's holding, decorated with the main character from Digimus. "Oh, you like Digimus?" Yuta asks casually. The tension softens immediately. Her eyes widen slightly, and she nods. Yuta smiles. "Koryo's my favorite character. He's awesome." The girl's expression brightens, as if a light has been switched on. You like Digimus too?" she asks shyly. "Of course," Yuta replies, laughing. "It's a classic." Suddenly, the girl starts showing him all her Digimus keychains and badges, excitedly explaining each one. Yuta starts sweating nervously, not expecting such energy. But seeing her excitement eases the awkwardness between them. Once things calm down, Yuta asks kindly, "So, are you heading somewhere?" She nods and points to a location on her phone. Yuta's eyes widen. It's the same cafe where he's supposed to meet Misiyama-sensei. "No way. That's where I'm going too," he says, chuckling at the coincidence. The girl seems delighted. "Really?" she says in her soft, unfamiliar accent. Yuta can't fully understand her language, but catches enough to follow along. He decides to walk her there, making sure she's safe in the crowd. Cut to the pedestrian crossing. The traffic light turns green, but the girl hesitates. Her small hands clutch her bag tightly. Yuta pauses beside her, remembering Yutako again. The way she'd freeze at every crosswalk when she was younger. Without thinking, he gently takes her hand and says, "Let's go together." The girl's cheeks instantly flush red. Her heart pounds. Is this what people call love? She thinks, flustered beyond reason. Yuta, meanwhile, is completely oblivious, just making sure she crosses safely. They finally arrive at the cafe. Yuta gestures toward the seats. "Can you see the person you're meeting?" he asks. The girl shakes her head. "Not yet." "Then let's wait together for a bit," Yuta offers. She smiles happily, but suddenly looks anxious again. "You don't have to wait with me," she says quickly. Yuta nods understandingly. "All right, but if you need anything, I'll be around here." He gives a small wave and walks away. Cut to Yuta is sitting at another table, scrolling through his messages. Still no reply from Misiyama-sensei. He sighs. "Weird. She said she was on her way." Meanwhile, the petite girl sits alone, twirling her straw nervously. She keeps glancing at Yuta from across the cafe. He's so kind, and kind of my type, she thinks, blushing. Then another thought hits her like lightning. What if the guy who helped me is actually Kamabukuro Matsu-sensei? Her eyes widen, her heart nearly jumping out of her chest. Cut to Yuta noticing her strange behavior from afar. She's clearly freaking out over something, talking to herself with a red face. "What is she doing?" he mutters, confused. Just then, his phone buzzes, a message from Misiyama-sensei. "I'm here. I've already arrived at the cafe." Yuta immediately looks around, scanning the entrance. No one new has come in. "That's odd," he says quietly, at the same time. The petite girl stands up, also looking around for someone. Not watching where she's going, she bumps right into Yuta. Their drinks nearly spill. Yuta quickly catches her before she falls. "Hey, are you okay?" Her face turns bright red as she stares up at him, feeling as if she's been struck by Cupid's arrow. She can barely form words. Then Yuta notices her phone on the floor. He picks it up and freezes. On the screen is an open chat labeled Kimabukuro Matsu Sensei. The realization hits both of them at once. "Wait, you're..." Yuta says in disbelief. The girl gasps, eyes wide. "You're Kamabukuro Matsu Sensei?" They stare at each other in stunned silence. Then, out of nowhere, the girl's face turns beet red and she screams. This must be fate. Yuta blinks rapidly, completely thrown off. "Wow, wait, what?" The girl covers her face, muttering, "A real-life rom-com moment. I can't believe this is happening." Cut to Yuta standing frozen, still processing what just happened. The camera lingers on his baffled expression as Misiyama-sensei, the tiny, overexcited illustrator he'd been texting all week, spins in embarrassment beside him. Yuta and Misiyama were staring at each other, confused about what was really happening. Yuta couldn't believe the girl in front of him was Misiyama-sensei and was puzzled by her intense stare. Misiyama suddenly exclaimed that she couldn't believe her favorite manga artist was such a knightly person. Moreover, he was young, very handsome, and exactly her type. So, Misiyama declared her plan to marry Kamabukuro Matsu, Yuta, but Yuta didn't understand what Misiyama was saying because of the language barrier. He tried to calm down the overexcited Misiyama and bring her back to her senses. Yuta felt relieved that they could finally communicate properly and properly introduced himself as Kamabukuro Matsu Yuta. Misiyama listened intently and introduced herself using her phone. Yuta also found her adorable, which made Misiyama feel shy and utterly helpless. Yuta tried to bring Misiyama's focus back to the main topic. But suddenly, Misiyama said he should call her Ko. Yuta understood and called her Kachin, which instantly made Misiyama happy and shy at the same time. Yuta also said Misiyama was free to call him whatever she liked. Misiyama decided to call Yuta Kemi-sama, God. Hearing that made Yuta a little shocked, and he hinted he'd prefer a different title. Misiyama thought for a moment and said she would call him Oni-sama, Big Brother. But Yuta pointed out he wasn't her brother. Misiyama then called him Kemi-sama, God Big Brother, making Yuta decide to just give up. After that, Yuta said he was truly amazed by Misiyama's incredible skills, especially given her youth. When Yuta was in elementary school, he was also writing, but unlike him, Misiyama was already a professional as a child. Misiyama looked confused and said she was already 15 years old, which shocked Yuta. Misiyama said she was in high school, not elementary or middle school. Yuta was genuinely surprised and hadn't expected Misiyama to be only 1 year younger than him. But he still said she was amazing, being a famous VTuber and illustrator, and that he was truly envious. This made Misiyama blush intensely. Yuta also commented that the characters Misiyama created were truly charming, full of expression and detail, which made him very happy. He expressed his amazement that someone as talented as her read his writing and even wanted to collaborate, and that he genuinely loved the artwork she made. Hearing this made Misiyama shy and flustered, wondering why her heart was beating so fast. In her nervousness, she accidentally spilled her coffee, causing Yuta to panic. He asked if she was okay, and upon looking, realized it was iced coffee, not hot. Yuta then lent her his handkerchief, which made Misiyama even more flustered to the point she couldn't even stand on her own 2 feet, worrying Yuta further. Meanwhile, Misiyama was shocked to find herself being such an easy girl to fluster. After that, Misiyama became lost in her thoughts, and no matter how hard Yuta called her, she couldn't hear him. After 10 minutes passed, Misiyama snapped back to reality and they returned to discussing their work. While chatting, they realized they understood each other very well and seemed very happy talking together. After a long conversation, they didn't realize how late it had gotten. Yuta asked what Misiyama planned to do next. Misiyama decided to go shopping, but remembered she gets lost easily. Yuta understood and offered to accompany her shopping. Hearing this made Misiyama happy, feeling like Yuta now belonged to her. The anime goods store Misiyama was excited to see that all the merchandise was from her favorite series, Digimon. She quickly ran around looking at everything. Misiyama also spotted a keychain she liked, and Yuta noticed. He asked if she wanted it, and she nodded. Yuta took it from her, went to the cashier, and bought the keychain, leaving Misiyama confused. Shortly after paying, Yuta gave the keychain to Misiyama, making her blush deeply. Misiyama asked if Yuta was sure he wanted to give it to her, and Yuta confirmed, saying it was a token of appreciation for agreeing to work with him. Hearing this made Misiyama overjoyed again, and she began praising the Digimon character on the keychain she just received. Seeing this, Yuta became even more convinced of her love for Digimon. He never expected to collaborate with someone who loved his work so much. He felt sure that working with Misiyama would lead to creating even better work in the future. Meanwhile, Misiyama was still lost in her fantasy, thinking this was a confession of love from Yuta and sinking in her own world. Yuta was happy that Misiyama liked his gift. A flustered Misiyama said she would treasure Yuta's gift and never sell it, though Yuta didn't understand what she said. Afterwards, they parted ways at the station. Misiyama hadn't realized how much time had passed. Yuta said that if she had any suggestions, she shouldn't hesitate to contact him directly. Misiyama was confused at first, but then remembered they would be working together in the future. Yuta looked at Misiyama and found her very endearing in her own language. Misiyama said that she was a shy person, but she was glad she gathered her courage today and got the chance to work with Yuta, and that she was happy to have met him. Yuta was surprised to hear she was happy to meet him, and he said he was also glad to have made a new friend. Yuta suggested they could go out together another time. Instantly, Misiyama glomped Yuta in her excitement, causing Yuta to panic as they were now being stared at by everyone in the station. Misiyama also realized this. Misiyama grabbed Yuta's hand and said in her language that she would do her best with the illustrations and that she would become his future bride. Yuta, not understanding, thought she was just saying she would do her best or something similar. After that, they finally parted ways. Initially, Yuta had been unsure about this meeting, but he hadn't expected Misiyama-sensei to be so adorable, innocent, and fun all at once. He felt they could create something amazing together. One day in July at Yuta's house, his father seemed incredibly happy today. 3 beautiful angels had come to their home: Yuri, Elisa, and Misiyama. Seeing this sent Yuta's father into hysterics. He couldn't believe something like this was happening thanks to his own son. He couldn't believe he had been raising a main character all this time. Meanwhile, Elisa and Yuri felt more at ease seeing Yuta's father like this compared to his corporate version. Misiyama, however, was frightened and couldn't believe how strange Yuta's father was acting. Suddenly, Yuta's mother appeared, looking very annoyed by her husband's behavior, and hit him with all her might. After that, she tied him up to prevent him from further embarrassing them and went to greet the guests that Yuta's mother apologized for her husband's weird behavior. But Yuri and Elisa were already used to Yuta's father's odd antics. Yuta felt very uncomfortable. Since this was Misiyama's first time visiting, he asked if she was okay. Misiyama was lost in her own world, wondering if she could survive in this chaotic family. Yuta's mother came over and introduced herself to Misiyama to help her feel calmer. A calmer Misiyama also introduced herself and then sank back into her own world. Not long after, Yuta's younger sister, Yutako, came home from school and was shocked by the number of guests today, recognizing Yuri and Elisa. But Yutako was confused about who the cute, petite girl was. She ran to her big brother and praised him for being so amazing to bring yet another beautiful girl home, which annoyed Yuta. Yuta introduced the girl as Miss Yamako, a famous illustrator, and explained that they had all come over to watch the promotional video for Yuta's new light novel. Thanks to May, director Midakaima, and all the people who helped complete this promotional episode, Yuta said. Hearing this, Yutako got excited, wanted to watch it immediately, and headed to the living room. Yuri realized she hadn't properly introduced herself to Misiyama and did so. Elisa did the same. This made Misiyama feel shy and amazed that she was sitting with a famous singer and a famous voice actress. Plus, their beautiful chests stole Misayama's attention. Yuri praised Misayama's previous artwork and was surprised that the person behind those drawings was this cute. Yuri couldn't hold back anymore and immediately hugged Misayama, overwhelming her and making Elisa a little jealous. Overwhelmed, Misayama called for Yuta's help, broke free, and ran to hug Yuta. This certainly surprised Yuta, while Misayama felt calm in his arms. Seeing this, Elisa and Yuri were truly shocked and taken aback. Even Yuta's mother was surprised by the scene. Yutako thought Misayama was utterly adorable and that they should just forget about their father for now. An embarrassed Yuta asked Misayama to stand up, but Misayama said, "I can't speak Japanese." Seeing this, Elisa and Yuri grew jealous and asked if they could sit on Yuta's lap too. Hearing this, Misayama said, "Sorry, but this is a special privilege just for Misayama." Seeing this, Yuri and Elisa were shocked, not expecting to be challenged by Misayama. But once again, they found it hard to be mad because Misayama was just too endearing. Meanwhile, Yuta's father struggled against his bonds, also wanting to experience what his son was feeling, but of course, the queen, Yuta's mother, scolded him. After that, they decided to watch the promotional video together. Yuta's mother was amazed that they had all worked so hard just to make a simple promotional video, finding it truly incredible. She told Yuta not to forget to thank these people, and Yuta understood. As Yuta watched the promotional video, he was truly impressed. Thanks to director Midakayama's guidance and all the staff, the characters he created were moving beautifully. Misayama had brought those characters to life. Yuri had given them a soul, and not forgetting Elisa's incredibly beautiful singing, which made the promotional video a masterpiece. Initially, Yuta had been nervous to watch it, but thanks to his mother's words and everyone's support, they were able to witness this beautiful work. Yuta couldn't be more grateful. Even after the credits appeared and the screen went dark, they were still mesmerized by what they had just watched. Yuta was deeply moved and asked the others for their opinion. Did they like it? When he looked back, he was shocked to see everyone crying floods of tears. They all agreed that the promotional video was extraordinary. Yutako had never seen anything like it before, saying it was even better than the Digima's anime. Yuta's mother also cried, feeling proud of her son's amazing achievement. But Yuta said this wouldn't have been possible without all of their help, and that certainly included Yuri, Elisa, and Misayama. However, the three of them insisted that they should be thanking Yuta for creating such an incredible story and work. This came from the bottom of all their hearts. Hearing this deeply moved Yuta, but suddenly Yuta's father shouted hysterically, declaring that he would do his absolute best to make his son's work the best it could be. Yutako found it weird to see her father acting like a proper dad. It even confused his own wife on how to respond. Even though Yuta's father was being sincere, it still felt strange to them because it was so unlike the father they knew. And if the book doesn't sell, you know what will happen, right? Yutako said, staring sharply at her father as if threatening him to do his best. And so, Yuta's father vowed to do his best, and Yuta felt this was one of the best moments of his life.